Three, two, one. What up, folks? Once again, it is indeed your boy Tim, the handsome liberal. We're going to be asking, as the Alvin Bragg paying off of porn stars, they're calling it, hush money case. As this case is beginning to come to a conclusion, what we're going to be asking is, as you see the live stream is titled, will Trump win the New York case? Side note, do you even give a damn? Does it even matter what the results are of this case? Now, the more the case proceeds, regardless of how you feel about Trump, whether you think he's being, railroaded or you think he's actually guilty, regardless of how you feel about Trump, one thing is becoming apparent. Michael Cohen is he certainly is of no good character whatsoever. Now, what recently has come out is that he was literally stealing tens of thousands of dollars from the Trump organization. So what we want to ask right off the bat is, do you believe Michael Cohen is credible? Because his testimony is really the only thing that links Trump to any alleged crimes. If you don't believe Michael Cohen, there's nothing to go on Trump with. There is literally nothing to pin Trump down with, because Michael Cohen is the one that's saying all this stuff happened. He is the link to the prosecution's case and what actually took place. So we're going to be asking right off the bat, do you see Michael Cohen as being credible at all? Or let me ask it to you this way. Who do you view as being a more credible character between Trump and Cohen? Between those two, because there is kind of a he said, she said thing at this point. Trump is saying that Cohen is lying. Cohen is saying that Trump is lying. Cohen has been on his stand and has been disassembled by the defense to some degree. Trump is avoiding the stand so far. So who do you see as being more of a credible individual between Cohen and President Trump? So that's the first thing we're going to be asking is, do you believe Trump is going to win in New York? Next question we're going to be also asking is, does it even matter to you? I mean, if Trump is exonerated, or if he is convicted, whether he is found guilty, found innocent, or in the middle, a hung jury, which a lot of folks believe may be possible as well. Does any of this matter? Would any of this change your vote or even how you view President Trump? However you view Trump right now, if he's found guilty of committing these crimes, will that change your opinion of him? What if he's found not guilty? Will that change your opinion of him at all? Because I'm under the assumption, based on a lot of comments I'm starting to see, that people don't give a damn about this case to begin with. It's not going to change any hearts and minds whatsoever. Why does that matter? Because at the end of the day, it's very unlikely this case is going to prevent Trump from being on the ballot. So if Trump doesn't serve any time, let's say he's found guilty on this case, and they give him anything but jail time, and he's still allowed to run for president, then what the hell does this case matter? The case makes it, he'll pay a fine of some sort, whatever the hell the other remaining half of the punishment is, and then we go on and vote in November, in which he could possibly win. So what is the purpose of doing all of this? Perhaps it's a useless case. So we want to hear your opinion on that. All right, looking in the comments, you know how the program is ran. It is and always will be MAGA friendly. We don't block, ban, or censor anyone for their commentary. So understand, when you're in the comment section, whether you're talking to someone else or simply speaking with yours truly, if you disagree with anyone on the program, nobody gives a damn. It's all about free speech here. So understand, you don't have to worry about the host trying to limit, censor, or moderate your opinion out of the show. We believe in free speech here, regardless of what your opinion is. What do we say? We go left of Bernie Sanders to I'm having dinner with QAnon. Everybody gets to speak. So looking in the comments, they've been hunting him since he became president. So in reality, this is all they got. T-Boca, I think the name is, in regards to them hunting Trump since he became president. Yeah, there's been a hell of a lot of people that disagreed with Trump when he became president. I mean, after all, at the end of the day, keep in mind, Trump became president suggesting he was going to drain the swamp and fire a bunch of people. So he essentially got elected to hunt himself. Find the folks that should not be in Washington and get rid of them. He ran on a campaign of hunting people out. So understand that, it is kind of a takes one and no one type deal. But in regards to the other cases, I don't know if I agree yet because they didn't come to fruition. We don't know what Jack Smith or Fonnie Willis is going to present. So I don't want to jump the gun and say what they're going after Trump is bullshit until I hear what they actually have. If you support Trump, you don't give a damn. If you hate Trump, you don't give a damn. He's guilty or he's innocent. But I want to hear what they have to say. Looking in the box, we'll go straight to the box, asking that question: does either one of these individuals have any credibility at all? Moo, the tuxedo cat. Good afternoon, Moo. Or better yet, does this case even matter? Moo, what say you? Does this case matter to you at all?
I mean, not to me. I mean, what's more important to me is really the Georgia case. I think is the most important. If the state of New York feels that they need to come after him for falsifying business documents, that's their prerogative. But really, what I'm looking for is the fake elector scheme to come to a head, because really, the stealing of the election and the overthrowing of our democracy is the most important case out of all of them, in my opinion.
Yeah, but Trump is suggesting you got to echo.
What is it?
You got to echo.
Oh, let me put you there. How's that?
That sounds much better.
How's that?
That sounds much better. Okay. Trump is suggesting it's the Democrats that's trying to steal the election. You're saying it's the other way around.
Well, I mean, there's, people are already in jail. They've confessed. We know the fake elector scheme is real. We know that Chesborough came up with it. There are people who have already been convicted of this. So, they can say whatever they want. You can live in a fake reality if you want to. People are already serving time and being punished for this thing. So it is what it is, right?
Like, for instance, in the comments, Fancy Prancy repeats your term. Oh, she says overthrowing democracy. Bullshit. Because you suggested that he's trying to overthrow democracy. Give me elaborate on what's making you say that.
Well, I mean, the thing is MAGA's going to gaslight you, right? So you can't listen to anything MAGA says. They live in a fucking fantasy world, right? I don't listen to MAGA. I don't try to convince MAGA of anything, right? When you're in a cult, you're going to be brainwashed into following whatever the leader does, and that's what they do, right? We already know that he had fake electors standing by, waiting for Mike Pence to throw the election back to the state, right? So he just had y'all rush the Capitol for no reason, right? He just had y'all invade the Capitol, storm in there, and try to hang the vice president for no reason, right? No, that was a distraction so that he could pull off his fake elector scheme, right? It's not my fault that y'all are too stupid to understand what's going on.
Wait a minute, you're telling me there is...
That's MAGA's problem.
You're telling me there are no free thinkers along the lines of MAGA? None of them have a legitimate reason to vote for Trump?
Bro, they come on here all the time, right? You ask them these questions. They say things like, well, yeah, he did say that, yeah, but that's not what he meant. He meant this and that. And, they're making excuses for a grown man, which is pathetic, right? They follow this guy who uses Nazi rhetoric, who doesn't help them. It's not like Trump implemented any policies that ever helped you, right? He partially caused the inflation that's robbing you. He gave massive tax cuts to the rich. He sold off public parklands. He deregulated a bunch of environmental protections that's fucking up your land. So, he hasn't done anything for you. You guys like to pretend that he helped you out because he hates minorities. He hates LGBTQ people, right? He pretends to dislike abortion, which we all know is bullshit. He pretends to be a Christian, and that gets the right wing all riled up. So he knows how to stir the pot when it comes to things that they like to hear. He doesn't care about any of that. Trump has no core. He has no stances on anything. He'll say whatever he needs to that's politically expedient for him.
Wait, hold on. Move. 74 million people voted for Trump. You're telling me that there's not one good thing about this man?
No, I mean, I don't know what you think is good about him, right? His economy wasn't good. There hasn't been a good economy since fucking FJB, right?
Who the hell's FJB?
There hasn't been
Joe
a good
Biden.
economy
Wait a
since,
minute.
like the 1940s, 1950s, after they put in Social Security and the welfare
Okay,
system.
you're talking about FDR. You do realize FJB means fuck Joe Biden, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, well, whatever it is, FDR, yeah. He did pricing controls, right? Which is what needs to be done to bring down the prices at this point. And I'm driving, so, if I'm a little distracted, I'm sorry.
Okay.
But, he needs to do pricing controls. And Biden and Trump, neither of them are going to do that because they both take corporate money. I told you, the only reason I'm voting for Joe Biden is because when he's done being president, he will leave. He will leave peacefully without trying to overthrow the election. And that's why I'm voting for him. I don't expect him to do anything for me in particular. I'm an upper class, middle class American. I pay the most taxes in the country, and I don't expect either of them to do anything for me because my demographic are the ones that hold this country up.
Yeah, but what about folks who would suggest, okay, you're obviously a white man. We've talked many times. Folks are suggesting that under Trump, the bias in America, because President Trump has stated himself that there is a bias in this country towards whites, and if he's elected, that won't happen under his watch. You don't see that as a benefit to you?
There is a bias in this country towards whites, but it's a favorable bias, right? It's a favorable bias because generally white people get treated better by the legal system. They get treated better by the educational system. They get treated better when it comes to getting jobs. So there is a bias in this country when it comes to whites. That's absolutely true. But it's a favorable bias. It's a bias in the white man's favor.
So what you're saying is white privilege is real.
Correct. Yeah, it absolutely is real.
Trump disagrees.
Why do you think you have these white Karens that can go into these restaurants with minority workers there, cuss them out, swear at them, the police come there, and then they side with the Karen instead of the worker, right? Why do you think that happens all the time in this country?
What about the border, Moo? What about the border? You think Trump wouldn't get the border under control?
I think neither of them know what to do with the border, right? You have to hire more judges. You have to get more immigration courts in place. You have to be able to move people quicker through the system, right? You're not going to get 11 million immigrants out of this country. What you're going to do is piss away a bunch of tax money, right? You're going to waste a bunch of my tax dollars, MAGA's tax dollars, right? I mean, not that they give a shit, right? Because they would love to deport 11 million people, no matter how unfucking realistic that might be. But yeah, they'll buy it. They'll go for it. It's not going to happen, guys. It's not happening. But yeah, sure, they'll go for it.
So you don't see no difference on securing the border between Biden and Trump?
No,
You think they're
because
both?
Biden's policies are literally the same as Trump, except he doesn't separate children from their families, and he's not going to build a dumbass wall. Other than those two things, Biden's border policy is exactly the same as Trump's. There's literally no difference.
But yet, there's far more people coming in the country under Biden than Trump. Is that correct?
Well, then I would think that the country's more prosperous then, right? If people are itching to come here, that shows signs that the country's prosperous and that people want to come here. That's what that shows me.
What about it showing that maybe they see Biden as weaker on securing the border than Trump?
Fair argument, but I will say this, right? You have to have immigration. So first of all, America doesn't have enough workers to fill all the jobs that are needed to be done in this country. So you have to have a flow of immigrants in and out of the country. You just have to do it properly, right? You need to have courts that can vet people, get people through, get people citizenship. You don't have that right now. You're short on judges, you're short on immigration lawyers, you're short on translators. So you don't have a functioning immigration system in the first place. So that's why things are all fucked up right now. But neither Trump nor Biden have any real interest in fixing that. First of all, Trump hires illegal immigrants to work at his places where he does business.
Wait. Do you have any evidence of that? Do you have any actual evidence of that?
He's been found to hire illegal immigrants at Mar-a-Lago. Yeah. Lots of his staff there are illegal immigrants out of Mexico that he hires there for cheap labor. Absolutely, yeah.
Yet he speaks negatively of them. You're telling me he's being hypocritical?
Well, yeah, I mean, look at his base, right? So his base is full of white supremacists, right? People who are poor, highly uneducated, because he loves the uneducated, right? So they don't care about anything I'm saying right now. All they care about is these people's skin is brown. They think they're criminals. They think they're rapists or grapists, whatever, TikTok. I don't care. Ban me. I don't care. And, that's what they believe. So, that's whatever.
The MAGA base is full of white supremacists. You know, a lot of minorities voted for Trump, right?
There's always the House people, right? There's always the House people who want to turn you in, right? During the Civil War, they would be the guys saying, "Hey, look at those guys over there trying to escape, massa," right? You always have those people. They're everywhere.
Oh my God! So what are you saying? If Trump gets elected, they're going to turn back racial relations in this country or something?
Well, what's a better question is, what are you guys going to do when Trump passes away? Because he just pulled a Mitch McConnell the other day, right? So Trump is going to pass away. Probably within the next 4 years. He probably wouldn't even finish his presidency, to be honest with you. Yeah, Trump just did an NRE speech where he froze for like 30 seconds, just like Mitch McConnell. I try to tell you guys, man, your boy's on his last leg. He's fat. He's old. He's orange. I'm surprised the dude doesn't have like cancer all through his body from putting that shit on his skin for years. But yeah, dude, like these guys act like Trump's gonna be around for a while. The guy's almost 80. He's unhealthy as hell. He's obese. He has high blood pressure. He has heart problems, guys. He's not gonna be around much longer.
Is it possible? Wait, is it?
Asses out of yourself.
All right, last question before I let you go. Is it possible that maybe Trump was a healthy guy, but because the left keeps burying him in court cases, it's fucking with his health?
The dude's been eating McDonald's for like 80 fucking years. I don't think so, my dude.
All right, Moo. All right. Appreciate you coming on, man. Thank you.
You have a good one, man.
You too. All right, shit. All right, moving the program. Moo don't ever fuck around. Look in the comments, though. This dude 100% pulls BS to try to pull a point. In the comments, if you believe my last caller was pulling BS, cup OEDC or something like that, state it. I don't, folks, we don't block, ban, or censor anyone's opinion. So state your comment. Gladly read it. We can tackle it. Thank you for the hat and mustache. Yeah, I didn't see who sent that. Stand down, strike for, what does it say? Stand down, strike for Palestine. Stand down, strike. I don't quite get what that, I know you're defending Palestine, but what is a stand down strike? I mean, are you suggesting that Israel should stand down? State your point. Going in the comments though, it was so right on. And you know it, host. All right. I don't want to sound like Chris Tucker. And you know this, man. By the way, folks, tap the screen. Get your boy on up to 30,000 likes. There's 800 plus of you in here. You could be anywhere you want to be this Monday afternoon. So it is a pleasure having you here with me. I'm going to have to probably turn on the damn car because the phone's overheating from my last conversation. Looking on YouTube, late start today. Yeah, Gen X, the medical, has to make sure to keep my health up. I had a physical checkup at the doctor, so I'm a little late. But anyway, going back to the box, we're asking that question. Does the New York City case matter to you at all? Does it matter one bit? We'll go straight to Douglas 2754. Would it make any difference if Trump is found guilty, he was exonerated, hung jury? Would this case change your opinion of Trump any way, shape, fashion, or form? Douglas, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. How are you?
I'm doing good. So this New York case, what say you?
Yeah, it's not going to persuade me either way. I'm not happy with the judge that he's got sitting on the stand. There's too much going on with that case.
Give me some.
Make a difference.
Give me some examples.
What is a witch hunt?
Give me some examples of. You said there's too much going on with the case. Tell me what you mean by that.
I mean, when your star witness is Cohen, who's lied about everything, and he's still lying to this day in the courtroom, and they're constantly hearing the lies come out over and over again. The judge's daughter is making a fortune off of this.
Yeah, but what is the? Wait a minute. What does a judge's daughter have to do with this case? She's not in the courtroom. Douglas?
She's not in the courtroom, but she's benefiting from this case going on.
Yeah, maybe so, but that's irrelevant. I mean, there's a lot of people. You probably got hot dog vendors down near the court down near the court place is making money because the traffic is coming through. There's a lot of people that are benefiting from the case. That ain't got nothing to do with the case itself, though. Douglas, you must have a low signal, so we may have to move it on. We'll give Douglas a chance. Douglas, are you still there? All right. Apparently, Douglas is having a bad signal. Well, now he said yes, but Douglas, your signal was low. Come back anytime. We certainly don't have any issue with your opinion. You're welcome back anytime. Alter Ego. Yeah. Thank you for the hat and mustache. Thoughts on modern black people? That's a whole show, Am. That is a whole show. You're asking, what are my thoughts on modern day black people? What are we talking about? The level of education, crime, financial. That's a whole show in itself. Looking in the comments, Betty, going back to the actual topic, please tell me when America was great. We get this all the time, and I'll go back to the box real quick and tap the screen. Let your thumbs not be lazy. Get your boy up to 30,000 likes. You know this is an uncensored program. That's how we run it. We're here Monday through Friday, 1 p.m. I had a checkup today, so we're a little bit late, but certainly appreciate you folks showing support and tapping the screen. When was America great? Depends on who you're asking that question to. I am going to be flat out honest and tell you America was never great for everyone in the country. There's just no period in history where America was a great place to be for everyone in the country. And in my humble opinion, when we actually say we want to make America great again, it's really not taking in consideration the people it wasn't great for. It's not about them. Now, those folks may say it's an insensitive comment, and there could be some validity to that, but it's not taking into consideration the plight of everybody in the country. So the answer is never for everybody, but it was a great country for some people in the country. Looking in the comments, though, America always been great. We need to remind the world with a few mushroom clouds. You're going to remind the world how great America is by murdering them. Maybe their dead bodies will say, yeah, that's an awesome place. I don't understand the logic from that, but okay, fair enough. Looking in the comments real quick, Sabrina wants to break the law and then have rights to vote. She needs to read a book. I don't know what the hell that means. Going back to the box, though, we'll make it happen with Where We Eat. Is that what I'm seeing? Where We Eat.
Hello.
Good afternoon.
Where we're at.
Where we're at. Okay.
Yeah, where we're at. This is where we're at.
So what I'm asking is, does this case in New York City matter at all? Would it change your opinion of Trump? If he's found guilty, exonerated, found innocent, or a hung jury, will any of that matter to you?
No, I'm not a Trump supporter. I've never supported Trump. You know, when I was growing up, I'm 50 years old, and I always saw Trump. When I heard he was running, I was like, my opinion of him is kind of like a womanizer. I've always seen him in that light. I remember seeing him on different talk shows, and just the way he talked about women was foul. And I know that I remember reading about his bankruptcies and all of this, and just him as a person, I didn't look at that as leadership quality. I never really had faith in him at all. I did not vote for him. And then over the 4 years that he was president, I'm going to tell you, I was sitting on the edge of my seat. His relationship with leaders in other countries, not good. And, when he inherited a pretty good economy, the economy never ticked up by anything Trump did. You look at the charts.
The job numbers, he got us down to a 3.5% unemployment rate. You didn't see no tick up in the jobs numbers at all under Trump?
I'm talking about the economy itself. Nothing. I'm talking about no, I didn't. I'm sorry. We lost a lot of jobs under Trump. There was a lot of jobs at the end of his presidency, but I'm saying that when he did his trade war with China, They were predicting that in 2019 there was going to be a crash because of it, and there was. His tariffs, all of that stuff is a result of what's going on now, and COVID. I will give him COVID, give him that as part of that being that. But, back to what your other caller was talking about the border.
Yeah.
And, I've seen some of that border bill stuff. Biden tried to address this in 2021. I've looked into all of this border stuff. And in 2021, he tried to do a border bill. They didn't want that border bill. He had the Republicans author a border bill. Mike Johnson came back, the best border bill we've seen in 50 years. Best bill we've seen. 2,500 new agents with 1,000 to fight fentanyl. And I lost my brother to fentanyl in December, so that's a big one for me, okay? And I know how that stuff's getting in here. I've watched, the federal agents and all of this, the drug task force, and that stuff comes in at ports of entry. And a lot of Americans go over and get that stuff and bring it back too. Yeah. But anyway, there was a good border bill. So they wanted to pass that, but you got the Marjorie Taylor Greens and stuff fighting against good bills like Inflation Reduction Act, a lot of other things. This country could have seen a lot of progress. But then you've got this idiot over here talking about how we're going to shoot this. No, don't do that. That's going to be bad for my poll numbers. How the hell are we supposed to get anywhere as a country? And then we're looking at him going back in. And I know what certain truths are, and then I watch his rallies. And he definitely glitched the other night. For about 30, 40 seconds, he was talking about the status of this.
Let me go ahead and state, I have not seen that. I was busy bike riding and
fishing. It's at the very last. So there's about 25 after, I think it was about an hour and 25 minutes into his speech at the NRA in Texas. He's talking, and all of a sudden he just stops talking and he looks down, he shakes his head, then he looks over to the left, and all of a sudden you can tell he kind of snaps back to and he starts talking again. It was a trip. And you can see him also in another one a couple of weeks ago when he was talking about Melania Trump and how she really wished she could be here with us today. This is really in her heart. She was standing next to him. She was standing right there next to him. I don't care what they say about Biden. He mixes up names.
So wait, let me ask it to you this way. And by the way, Susie Q with the cranes, thank you very much, Susie Q, for your support. Absolute. What I want to ask you is, because a lot of folks are suggesting that it is Biden that has dementia, doesn't know where the hell he's at. In fact, Trump is saying that. Do you see Trump as being more mentally capable than Biden?
No, absolutely not. Because Biden, sometimes when you're up on those stages, he'll look, and I think they've really pulled this out. But if you look to everything else that Trump's done with the sexual assault stuff, Biden does this with his daughter, but even after his daughter came out and said, leave me alone with that, it didn't happen, and I'm in therapy because of this stuff. They won't leave it alone. It's just disgusting. Everything that Trump does, they come up with something for Biden. So they have clips together of him with his grandkids, going up and kissing them on the back of their head. And they make it look sickening. No, I don't think that Biden's that bad off. I've listened to speeches. I've listened to many recently, and he seems like he's there mentally. He messes up names, and we all know he has a stutter.
Yeah.
But Trump's got, and I think that people are pointing to that for Biden to cover Trump stuff, because every time something comes up,
I gotta disagree. I gotta disagree that they're pointing to it to save Trump. I mean, Biden is falling in public. I mean, there is legitimate concerns with Biden. You're pointing out things of Trump, and I really want to see this freezing episode, but
you got to look at it. You got to look it up. Look it up. It's about 1 hour and 25 minutes into his speech in Texas last Saturday night. You know what? I'm not going to lie. Biden's old, but I think Biden can still get by. I'm 50. I've fallen off my bike. I've fallen. I don't know. Maybe he is getting a little weaker physically. I know he does get out and exercise, though. I've seen him. I've seen. How
do you respond to folks like on YouTube? Shawnee says Biden is on drugs every time he can get a full sentence out, which is not often. In fact, President Trump stated, I believe at the same rally you're talking about, that Biden was high as a kite at the State of the Union address. Do you believe there's any validity that Biden's taking drugs?
What he said at the NRA thing is for the debates, he wants Biden to be tested. I'm going to tell you what, I don't think he'll show up to a Biden debate. Biden smoked him in the last debate. And I'm sorry, but, Biden might be a little bit, he's 81. He's getting up there. But I think his mental faculties, his thought process, I forget names. I mix my Gabriel and Roman up sometimes. I'll call my son Gabriel Roman. I mean, that's not a big deal, right? But when we're talking about what's that other guy's name? That senator where he just completely stopped.
Mitch McConnell.
Yes. Trump did one of those last weekend.
Wow. I gotta see that. But listen to this though. Elizabeth in the comments, and Elizabeth sounds like she leans right. Shout out to my female MAGA, and I always point them out because folks are saying that Biden's going to win because the females are going to go to Biden, but there's a lot of female MAGA. Elizabeth says, is she really kidding? Referring to you, saying that man can be signing his life away and don't even know he's doing it, and signing our life away. So you do believe Biden is cognizant of what he's doing, though. You don't believe what she's saying, that he's out of his mind like that.
You know what I'm going to say to that? I think Trump supporters are going to say anything to support Trump, but I like to go by what I see. I feel like if Biden was out of it, I would just say, hey, he's out of it. I'm a person of facts. I like to be, truthful. Like I just said, he's old, and I've seen him stutter. I've seen him kind of go, blah, blah, try to, and he's trying to talk. But shit, I've never seen Biden just straight stone cold pull a Mitch McConnell. I haven't seen that.
No, I haven't seen that either.
This guy's mixing reality with TV, the whole Hannibal Lecter thing, and that's I've done in home care. And that's what people do with dementia when they're getting a little more. I'm not saying he's got it. No doctor has said that. I've seen psychologists say that he has it, and they've gotten together and talked about it, and they've watched a lot of his rallies and his speeches, and they say he does. And his gait when he walks, there's a kind of drag thing he does with his legs, and holding his water with both hands and trying to drink his water. Those are all things that somebody with dementia does. Now, I'm going to leave it there. I don't want to go on about it, but I do like, though, my friend, the way that you honor both sides. I think it's something that this country is not doing enough right now. And we all need to hear each other. I think we all, at the end of the day, have the same stuff we want. We don't have to hate each other for who each other likes. And I'm kind of, coming to that spot. I used to get really upset, but it wasn't until the right did this, because I had a close friend, and I'll land my plane in a second. I had a close friend of 45 years, because I didn't support Trump, start judging me. I mean, we knew each other since we were 5 years old, and I lost two good friends because of that kind of stuff. It's just we never got into politics before. My one other friend, I was in her wedding, and my father's a MAGA. So it's like I used to tell him when he come over, Dad, let's just not talk politics today. Let's spend some time together. But they can't fucking do it. They can't do it.
I got to move it on, but I get accused of that as well. I enjoy a political conversation, and sometimes even my liberal family members are like, don't come over here with that shit, because I can see the good in both sides. And sometimes just for shits and giggles, I will defend MAGA, some of the points that I do agree with on the right, and they don't like it. So I know what it's like. But
really quick before we hang up, you haven't seen the stuff going on TikTok about them threatening to start civil war and stuff like that? Because I've seen it.
That's been going from day one.
This new Red Dawn Revolution thing. Well, but the liberals aren't threatening that stuff. No. It's crazy. We got to stop this shit. Anyway, thank you for letting me up.
Well said. Appreciate you coming through. Thank you very much. Come on back anytime. Look it in the comments. They already lost the Civil War. That doesn't mean somebody may not try to start it again. Before I go back to the box, I'll ask that you folks tap the screen on TikTok. We're already around, could get to about 50,000. You guys can make that certainly happen on this a little bit later afternoon broadcast. I appreciate you folks that are here. Same on YouTube. Feel free to smash that like button. 3 dots in your top right screen will give you access to that. Helps out the algorithm. In regards to the Civil War, or the threat of civil unrest, I've stated before, there is a chance I believe it could happen. I don't believe if Biden wins, there's going to be some people who are saying that Biden cheated. Guaranteed. There's no way Biden can win fairly. I certainly believe that Trump himself will never concede no matter what results come out. But I don't think that alone would lead to the right, particularly MAGA, sparking off a civil war. Now, you could have some lone wolf incidents, maybe a few folks committing, becoming domestic terrorists. I could see that. But a full-blown civil conflict, I don't think so. If it goes the other way and Trump wins, you may have some feminists, you may have some females protesting because they're losing rights. It could go federally. Trump has already said a federal abortion ban is possible. He's come out and admit that, along with Mitch McConnell, Mike Pence, and Lindsey Graham. So the idea it's going to only stay at the state level is ridiculous when they're admitting it. So you could have some unrest on the left. However, I don't think that would spark a civil war either. I said this on last week's show. The way I believe you could have civil war is Trump wins and then begins pursuing high-ranking members of our society. General Milley, General Petraeus, divide the military in half, for instance, go after the FBI, obviously pissing off and dividing the FBI in half, siding with the Russians, drain the swamp. The actual reality of draining the swamp, Trump style, is what could cause that. If he becomes president and deliberately starts going after judges that didn't rule in his favor and all of that, people who already have huge fan bases, that's where it could happen. That's where I think it could happen. But if one of them just wins and governs in the way they want to govern, you'll have unhappy people, but I don't believe that alone would cause a civil war. I think it would be Trump on a mission. That revenge shit is what would cause it, in my opinion. Look at it in the comments, though, and somebody says guilty. I don't know what that means, but fair enough. December Girl says, I want what part of them do you really like? I believe in taking care of Americans. I don't see any issue with taking care of Americans first to some degree, but you got to mean it. Now, I'm fine with the moniker America First if it has some meat behind it. If you're against universal health care, you're against forgiving tuition, you're against giving kids free lunch in schools, you're against raising the minimum wage, and you're claiming to be America First, you're not. So I'm fine with taking care of Americans first, but you got to be factual about it. If you're telling a person that is working an honest 40 hours a day that you're not a fan of them getting a wage increase, then you're not pro-American. So I believe in being America First. I just think a lot of people saying it aren't actually in favor of it. So looking in the comments, and Trump isn't being factual, and that's what he's taking away Department of Education. All right, fair enough. We could see that, could see something like that. These MAGAs already saying if Democrats win, it's corrupt. This is what happens when people are weak. I don't know what could spark from it, but I agree with the belief that there is no way in hell the Democrats could win without somebody saying that they stole it. I don't, because Trump is going to say that. Trump is not going to concede a loss to Biden. I don't care if Biden won 49 states. Trump would say that those states cheated on behalf of Biden. So you're going to have allegations of cheating in the next election. It is unavoidable. But going back to the box, we'll go to Workhorse. Good afternoon, Workhorse. Welcome to the program. Asking, does the case in New York, does that even matter? Workhorse, good afternoon.
Workhorse, good afternoon. Hey, boss, how are you?
I'm doing good. The New York City, you got an echo. Are you on Bluetooth?
I'm on speaker. Yeah, I am.
Kill that.
Hold on.
Shut down the free trade that Clinton imposed. Okay, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
That's much better. Yeah, that's You playing Mario Brothers? I can hear you loud and clear though.
That's my notification.
Okay.
Thing is, whichever way you put it.
Okay. So does the New York City case matter to you at all?
It does matter because at the end of the day, it's like he's been getting away with so much things. And now that he's getting caught up with everything that's coming back around him, now he don't like what he used to dish out. You see what I'm saying? Karma came back and bit him in the ass.
What if he's found not guilty? What if he's found not guilty by a jury of his peers?
Then it is what it is. But at the end of the day, it's too much evidence against him.
So you have your mind made up already he's guilty.
Well, with all the evidence that came out, yeah.
Well, so you think the jury may just botch it?
I think he'll get to the point that he's going to intimidate the jury, and he's going to have a hung jury.
Yeah. A lot of folks are saying that. So I'm assuming based on your conversation, you're no fan of Trump.
No, I'm a New Yorker. I've seen what he can do.
Give me some examples.
I've seen what he can do as far as, he's talking all this good stuff about sending all these immigrants back and everything else, but he had all these people with no papers working for him. I mean, that's a double standard thing. Yeah. And him putting up ads against
Central Park 5.
Yeah.
Then why was Trump so well loved by the city of New York before he became president? Okay, Workhorse, I'm going to have to move it on, man. You got a lot going on. Appreciate you coming through, but your phone is super busy there, Workhorse. We'll have to move it on. Looking in the comment section, Betty, and I don't like clipping customers, but he had a lot going on. But you're always welcome back, Workhorse, but you did have a lot coming through. Another New Yorker that knows Trump, says V. I was going to ask him, why were New Yorkers, though, such a huge fan of President Trump before he ran for office? Even black people. Had a lot of blacks that Mike Tyson still likes the guy. We got to talk about it. We have to bring it up. He wasn't public enemy number one as a citizen. DJ Julio. Yeah! Appreciate the hat and mustache. Why was that? Go back to the box. Andy, good afternoon. So, does this case matter to you at all, Andy?
Yeah, I would like to see some justice done.
What if he's found not guilty?
I'll accept that.
Would that change your tune of him?
No, but I'll accept it.
Okay. So,
because what I know about Trump, I've known from an entire lifetime of watching him. One case isn't going to matter, especially since he's stoking rhetoric like at the NRA. Like, I want a third term.
Did he say that in this last rally this weekend?
Yep.
But his third term means he won in 2020. He didn't get...
He's talking about running again after this one. How many of y'all think I should run for another? He's stoking for... Tell me he don't want to be a dictator, Tim, without,
I will say this, because I know where my beloved MAGA is going to go. He's just joking about this stuff, and maybe he is, but I want to point out, you can't blame people for holding a man to words that's coming out of his mouth. If he's saying he want to be a dictator or saying he wants a third term, you can't blame people for suggesting he wants to be a dictator, he wants to have a third term. If he's actually saying this stuff, it's not something that in this environment it's probably not something good to joke around with. That would be like Biden joking around and saying he has dementia. It's not a good joke when people are actually suggesting that this is a reality for you.
Especially since he's glitching, and several psychologists, like she said, they're actually running a watch on him because they're saying that one of them came out and said this is the best Trump you'll ever see because dementia's about to decline. He'll never be any better.
So wait. So why is there such a stark difference? I'm going to give you a comment. Ball Bozel, I think that's what that says I'd rather 10 more years of Trump at his worst than another month of Joe Biden complacency. What do you do with stuff like that?
I don't know, because if they think he's being complacent, then they haven't looked at his record. I mean, he literally has signed, as much legislation into play almost as FDR. It's their perception.
That's a lot of people with that perception, Andy. The man has a huge fan base.
I didn't want Trump to fail. I'll be honest. I didn't like it when he won, but I didn't want him to fail. You never want that for president, or at least I don't.
What did he do that was so bad, though? We had 4 years of him in there.
The way he handled the virus. Since so many people where I live were, no longer with us, we lost more people than were born. Him standing there saying he'll be gone in a few days. People here, listened to him. And then when he finally came back to say, hey, look, because he realized he was losing his voter base, y'all got to get that vaccination. They booed him right off the stage.
So you believe his handling of the pandemic alone is enough to disqualify him from being president again?
That and the fact that he only praises dictators. He said before, I don't get along with our allies so much, but I tend to get along with the dictators. Well, that gives you a mindset. And on top of that, he's talking about how the 5th is going to be their glorious, whatever day, and it's going to be retribution. It's going to be Independence Day for them and retribution for the others. That don't sound like a man who's planning on becoming president of the whole country, now does it?
Well, red state, blue state, he never sounded like he was interested. he was always,
really, I was shocked at how much he ramped it up for the NRA. And all this talk about we're not going to let them steal the election again. We're going to go sit at the polls. We're going to watch these people. That's downright un-American.
Andy, it is working. And by the way, you could get one more Biden voter. Jen Exer, your friend, states that if you made him a sandwich, he'd vote for Biden. So there's one vote for you.
He won't. No matter what I do. It's like Donald Trump. Do you remember when he used to say he didn't care what bathroom anybody used?
You mean like in terms of race? Say that again?
He said that in 2016. He didn't care what bathroom people used.
Oh, you mean in terms of the LGBT community?
Mm-hmm. And now look what he's saying.
Yeah, he's changed.
My problem is when he got in office, he goes, oh, we can take away their weapons before due process.
He did say that in 2017. I will say this in regards to what you're saying, Andy, is that Trump does, speaking on behalf of Trump, he does get the benefit of not being hammered by his side for statements like vote for me, you ain't black. Biden got hammered by the left for that. Trump says if you're Israel or if you're Jewish and you don't vote for him, you hate Israel. They didn't have much concern. I mean, when Trump says these things, they're a joke. He didn't mean it. When Biden says it, people hold him accountable. So Trump is benefiting from that greatly.
In one of his rallies, one of the people that goes around and interviews, apparently something came up about a Christian litmus test of how, and all these Trump supporters are now on board for that. Realistically, though, most of the people that say they're on board for that, I don't know. Jesus talked about feeding, the poor and the hungry. He told people how to treat immigrants. I'm not sure how they're going to pass that litmus test.
Well, I'm not really religious, so I can't speak on it, but I get your point. But at the end of the day, would it really be that bad if Trump came back? I mean, we did have 4 years of him.
If he's talking about putting the LGBTQIA in conversion camps, he's talking about...
Wait a minute.
That's in
Putting the LGBT...
And it's becoming mainstream news now, because they're not even denying it anymore. And the Heritage Foundation has been writing bills for the Republicans for years. There's even, if you go look it up, there's a scandal about how a politician got handed it right before he went to the floor, put it out there, it still had the Heritage Foundation symbol on it.
Hold on a second. By the way, RB, you've been noticed. There's that sub on YouTube. Let me just ask it to you this way. You said that Trump is talking about putting the LGBT community in what kind of camps?
Conversion. Mike Pence believed in that.
Did Trump actually say
Louisiana,
that?
huh?
Is that something people attributed to Trump, or did he actually say
It's
that?
in Project 2025, and his Agenda 47 is just Project 2025 in shorthand. I mean, he's full on board with the Heritage Foundation. They give him lots of money.
How do you put...
They give all the Republicans lots of money.
Do you really believe what Project 2025 is saying? Do you believe that Trump is capable of putting Americans in camps to re-educate them?
I'm starting to say it. Read it and listen to him. I know it's 948 pages. It's a lot. But, I mean, they've been working on it for 50 years, ever since Reagan was in office. And the mandate for leadership, Trump accomplished like 65 or 70% of it.
Jesus.
So it's not like he's not trying to do it.
Re-education camps. That definitely sounds like some medieval times.
I mean, think about it. He's also talking about putting the unhomed in, camps. Why is that such a far stretch? Y'all all act like, oh my God, he would never do that. Look what he's already done, y'all.
I want to hold out
and
hope.
I'm not making things up. The Heritage Foundation's Project 2025 is easily and readily available. Please avail yourself to a book and read.
Re-education. All right, Andy, I got to move it on, but that is frightening. That is outright frightening.
One thing I wanted to say, do you remember when I told you that women were starting to get treated worse and worse? And you asked me, did I really think so? And then you did the poll with your audience and you started to see it yourself. Yeah. Did you see that commencement speech?
Oh, my God. Yeah, but the kicker talking about you need to be focusing more on being a homemaker.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, I did see it.
So tell me how the Republican Party's not moving towards that now.
I'm gonna tell you something, Andy. I think we've talked about this before. I got a lot of female Republicans, female MAGA, tune in all the time. If it's so bad for females,
small portion because MAGA's not that big. They're not even the whole Republican Party.
I'm just gonna tell you what I'm.
People are gonna throw away their vote for protest because of what's happened in Palestine, But it's not that Trump's gaining all these voters because he's this charismatic guy. There are Republicans leaving the party all the time. I showed you that the other day.
I'm just going to tell you, as somebody who went to a Trump rally, there are no shortage of women there. If women are losing their rights, they sure don't feel that way. There's a lot of Republican women out there, Andy.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Look at all those Republican states that now have abortion on the ballot. That didn't before because women went out there and got signatures and said you're going to put that shit up on the ballot. How do you think that's going to affect the election when women all turn out in droves for that?
Well, I think
you can say there's a lot of MAGA, but there seems to be a lot more of us that aren't. Because, like I said, these ballots are going on these initiatives are going on every ballot, and women have showed out in mass at every election, and Democrats haven't won any of them. I mean, Republicans haven't won any of them.
All right. We'll see. But I see Mark Connor on YouTube said that because nobody feels it's going to happen to them until it does. So, by the way, Kate Cox, the 31-year-old in Texas that had a baby with a chromosome disorder and 95% chance that wasn't going to survive, she was a Republican until it happened to her. Got to move it on, though, Andy. Appreciate it.
Have a good one, Tim.
You too. Looking in the comments. Wow, getting a lot of lefties today. Understand we do entertain opinions from all sides of the aisle. We go left of Bernie Sanders from having dinner with QAnon. Oddly enough, we've had a lot of folks leaning left calling the program today. Thank you very much for that support, that knight in shining armor helmet. I didn't see who sent that. Fellow TikToker. Thank you. Appreciate that. The knight helmet. Before we go back to the box, tap the screen. We have to solicit that. Get me on up to 60,000 likes. Nearly 900 of you in here. So it's an honor having you here as always. We don't block, ban, or censor anyone for their commentary. Program is, always will be MAGA friendly. Been that way since day one. July 4th, 2025 will mark our 250th year anniversary. And it is a big planned celebration for we the people, and that will happen regardless if Trump gets in, because they'll still try to trick you. That's a mouthful, but I don't quite understand what you're trying to say there. Trying to trick you, trying to trick us. How? Elaborate a little bit more on that. Trump 2024, liberal tears are so tasty and salty. There will be some liberal tears if Trump gets reelected, but the idea that you're reveling in liberal tears kind of reminds me of what I was mentioning earlier, that not only if Trump wins, but he's going to deliberately try to potentially take revenge and go after people. And I've said this before, whether he does it or not, Trump may just govern and be a good president. But I've said before, MAGA wants Trump to go after people that were, anti-Trump, or they believe was trying to railroad them, judges, politicians. MAGA actually want that. I don't know if Trump would do it. I don't know if Trump could do it. But I do strongly believe MAGA would cheer it on. So it could happen. It absolutely could happen if you get enough MAGA in positions of power in Washington, because, MAGA wants it. Looking in the comments, minorities are equal or treated equally. Minorities are equal or treated equally. And there's a question mark behind that. What are you saying? I don't quite get that. If they abuse their power, then yes, prosecute them. Well, we'll see what happens. Going back to the box, we're asking that question: does the trial, the New York City trial, make a difference to you at all? What if Trump is found guilty? Is he exonerated? If we end up with 100, would it make any difference to you whatsoever? Going to the box, we'll go straight to Old Man Labor. Good afternoon. Welcome to the program. Talking about the Alvin Bragg hush money case. Does it matter to you at all? Old man, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. How you doing today?
I'm doing good. Does this case make any bit of a difference to you at all?
I don't like Trump at all.
I'm not getting any MAGA today. What the hell? Go ahead.
I'm just saying, I'm an independent. I don't like Biden or Trump. I think the average person is still going to be the same, right?
What's wrong with Trump?
Trump was poor. We're still poor. Biden's in. We're poor. You understand? We're not going to get rich off of any of them. We're not part of the elites. And they scratch each other's back, and they have their own interests in mind, right?
Who would you favor? Because I see in the comments, even on YouTube, Pup1 says they both suck. For folks who believe that Biden and Trump is the wrong choice, who would you favor to run this country?
Who would I favor to run this country?
Name me a politician that you think is doing a good job.
I haven't seen any of them. The only one I could say, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez in New York.
I asked you that because I wanted to see where you were on the scale. You're pretty far left then. I'm assuming you voted for Bernie Sanders.
That's not left. How is that left? That's not even left.
In America, now I get in Europe, AOC and Bernie Sanders wouldn't be that far to the left. But in America, they're about as far left as you can go.
Yeah, but they're progressives and they're fighting for the average person. That's what I'm saying. Like a Bernie Sanders. I wish Bernie Sanders.
They're not fighting for the rich. They're not fighting for the rich.
I mean, but Bernie Sanders ran away, and he should have ran for president.
Bernie Sanders is like 100. Bernie Sanders is like 100. What do you want? I mean, he may be hanging out with Betty White soon. I mean, he's too old.
But wait, hold on. That's another thing. Biden is the same age. And Trump is a few years apart from him.
Yeah.
So when they throw the old card in, they're all close to the 80s or around the 80s.
Yeah, they are.
They're all baby boomers. And they want to run the country. So we need some new blood in there. I haven't seen enough of a lot of people.
But AOC, you think this country will be ran properly if we had President Cortez? You think she would be a good president?
That's just my opinion. I think that we need somebody that's going to fight for the regular person and doesn't cave into the corporate interests. She doesn't take any corporate money, and she's not really down with the party. She doesn't just go by, she's trying to work bipartisan, work with both parties,
Well, when you're talking about taxing the rich, you're not going to get any corporate money. There's a reason why she don't take any corporate money, and no corporation going to support her.
Exactly, but that's on, like, in the 1960s, right? At the height of the middle class, right? Aside from the civil rights and all that, there was more middle class. There was more, people that were more progressive policies, right? Mm-hmm. Corporations. How much did corporations pay in taxes?
A lot more than they do now.
A lot more, exactly. And now
Yeah.
people are crying, oh, they're going to raise the tax rate for the corporations. But we need a lot of infrastructure, and we need a lot of things being built in this country. Everything's falling apart. Everything was built in the 1940s and the 1950s and the 1960s.
Yeah.
All these bridges across America, all these bridges.
But when you say that she doesn't take corporate money, in the comments on YouTube, Jack Watkins says you are describing Trump. In other words, Trump didn't take his salary. You know, folks believe that Trump is the one that couldn't be bought and paid for. What say you?
He's a billionaire.
Yeah.
What do you mean? He's part of the elite. So you think a person could keep $1 billion or $2 billion or $3 billion? He's a real estate module in New York. Like how do you how can you any average person build a skyscraper? Will you be able to get the government to approve it? Let's say you went over there and said, "Oh, I want to build a skyscraper." They'll laugh at you.
Yeah.
Can't get all the permits or the lawyers.
But that's why people like Trump, is that he could get things done like that he was a successful businessman. Isn't that a good thing?
It's easy to say that when you have the capital. I could be a successful businessman if you give me a few $1 million and give me like 200 buildings and give me all the tools and teach me how to run a company, right?
Yeah, but you know how many people inherited money from their family and blew through it all? Trump not only inherited money, he made it into billions. He didn't inherit that kind of money that he has now. I mean, he did very well. You don't give him no credit at all. I mean, I know he has some bankruptcies. I'm not going to pretend like some of his businesses didn't go belly up. But at the end of the day, he increased his wealth. You don't view that as a good thing?
I mean, what his dad taught him, right, since day one, he left them 200 buildings in New York City, right? And he taught him how to work the tax system, how to work the...
Wait, you said Trump's dad left him 200 buildings?
Yes, in New York City. That's correct.
Wow. Never heard that before.
The properties weren't worth much. And then New York City those buildings were not worth as much. And then New York City had a big uprising in prices in the 80s, 90s, 2000s, and those buildings quadrupled, right? And then his dad left him a blind trust that he still gets money to this day.
Yeah, Trump claims his dad loaned him $1 million. Trump disagrees with everything you're saying, but maybe he's wrong. But
less than $1 million? You sure about that? He's not talking about...
Trump says he started his business off with $1 million loan from his dad.
Yeah, but his dad left him a blind trust too.
Yeah.
And he left them 200 buildings and the know-how and the connections on how to run those buildings, right? No normal person could just stand up and say, "Hey, I'm gonna buy these 200 buildings," 200 buildings.
Yeah, but Trump was, let me just say this. I get your point, but Trump was known as a very successful business person in New York before running for president. They loved the guy. Is it possible that Trump is still Trump, but folks just dislike him because he became president?
Well, people forget that he was a Democrat for 30 years.
That is true.
Right? And then in 2000, they didn't want him to run for president. He was a reform candidate in the year 2000, right? A reform candidate. He didn't succeed, but then he made some connections and then he decided to switch over to the Republican Party.
Yeah, let me just say this, by the way, too. I'm not from New York. I see a hell of a lot of people in the comments like, bullshit, New York didn't like Trump. I didn't hear that. I never heard that before, but I did see it.
The social elites, they didn't like him. Like, they said that he was socially awkward when they invited him to these posh parties, which most people wouldn't get the invitation in the first place, right?
They were sure inviting him. Whether they liked him or not, he sure would. I mean, whether it's Hillary Clinton's wedding or hanging around Al Sharpton, they can say whatever they want to say about him. They were hanging around him. Maybe they were hanging around him to use him for his influence, but now they want to bash the guy. Trump got pictures with all them folks. That does say something.
Yeah, including, and the one that he's most famous for is having the picture with Epstein, right?
Yeah,
that's one that they bash him the most for.
He does have a picture with Epstein too. That is true.
And so do many other rich people, right?
Yeah.
So they could throw sling mud, but I think the mud will fall and hit other people in the face at the same time.
Can't argue with that. I do got to move it on, old man. Thank you for coming through, but you're right.
So
he does
who
have a
you
picture with
gonna vote for?
Epstein.
Be honest. Who are you gonna vote for?
I lean left. I don't hate everything about President Trump. Let me make that clearer. But my issue is more along the lines of I don't believe in deliberate division. The name, if Trump wasn't doing that, I think he would have a second term. So that's the issue I have more than anything. I don't think the country economically, the way the country's being ran, I don't think it was awful under President Trump. I think that if he wasn't name calling, because even the liberals aren't bitching about the gas prices and the inflation rate when Trump was in office. They weren't bitching. They're bitching about his Twitter account and all the insults.
Yeah.
That's what people, and that he makes it clear if he gets reelected, that's coming back with him.
And that's what Elon Musk said. Elon Musk said it doesn't matter to him who's president. He's still going to be rich.
Yeah. Fair enough.
He said.
Fair. And yeah, we know Elon ain't going. Yeah, Elon Musk got enough. Yeah, it's
we know where he's going.
Yeah, the only way you're gonna break Elon is to have a military go in and just take his shit by force. I mean, he has too much money. But I gotta move it on, old man. Appreciate you coming through. Thank you.
And one last question,
real
Marjorie
quick.
Taylor Greene. What do you think about her, Marjorie Taylor Greene?
I'll answer. I'll answer it on the other side. Appreciate it. Marjorie Taylor Greene. Before I move it on, before I answer that question, rather tap the screen, get me on up to 70,000 likes. Certainly can do that same on TikTok. Feel free to smash that like button on TikTok. The three buttons at the top of your screen or whatever is how you do that. Understand, folks, this is an uncensored program. Regardless if you agree or disagree with my politics or anybody else's, you have a right to speak. We don't block, ban, or censor anyone for their opinion. We go left of Bernie Sanders from having dinner with QAnon. We run a format of free speech entirely. If you enjoy civilized dialogue from both sides of the aisle without any concern of the host trying to block, ban, or censor you, I'd invite you to follow the program on TikTok, a subscription on YouTube, if you will. We believe in free speech. What do I believe? What do I think of Marjorie Taylor Greene? She's cashing in on deliberate division. It's working for her very, very well. So I don't like it, but I understand it. A lot of folks, the folks who like the direction of the division she is implementing, really, really like Marjorie Taylor Greene. If you took a poll among conservatives, Republicans, and particularly MAGA, she would rank pretty high among the Congress representatives that they care about. Marjorie Taylor Greene would be pretty high up there. So it's working. That whatever she's doing, whether it's showing pictures of Hunter Biden's dick, the whole balloon thing, the Chinese balloon going over America. She ran down the halls of Congress with a white balloon, making fun of Biden. That stuff is working. It's working. So I don't like it. I think it's unnecessarily divisive. It's accomplishing nothing in Congress, but it will ensure she will be reelected. It's helping her out significantly. Anyhow, looking in the comments, she's breaking government, says Blue Dragon. She's certainly making people dislike each other. Recently, she talked about another congresswoman wearing fake eyelashes on the House floor. And then the other woman responded, calling her a butch body. What is that, a lesbian? Butch body, build blonde, bleach blonde or whatever. We don't need that. That is this particular Congress that's in session right now, this Republican Congress is trash. In terms of what they actually have accomplished in the last 2 years, this Republican-led Congress, to the point where they can't even agree on who should be speaker. Marjorie Taylor Greene has taken down, or at least attempted to take down 2 of the Republican speakers. It's trash. It's just fighting. That's all it is. They're not accomplishing shit. The one bill that the speaker was about to get, which was the border bill, where Trump helped shoot that down. So it's trash. So, and Marjorie Taylor Greene is leading that. She's literally leading that. Alter Ego. Yeah. Thank you for the hat mustache. What do you think about both Republican and Democrat House and insider trading? Both sides are making millions. Nobody, that's the name of the person in the comments. Nobody. Before we move on, it's obviously a huge conflict of interest. to allow lawmakers to purchase and sell stock and other things in the companies they make laws that benefit or hurt. It's a huge conflict of interest. It should not be allowed. There's no other way to put it. It should not be allowed. But whether you get a liberal president or drain the swamp, somebody promising to drain the swamp like Trump, neither side is going to do a damn thing about it. Because at the end of the day, once the president is in office, they need Congress to implement their legislation. So that's not gonna stop even if Trump gets in office. It certainly ain't gonna stop under the Democrats, and it's not gonna stop under Trump. But it is a huge conflict of interest. It should be stopped, but yeah, I don't see it stopping. Looking in the comments, and term limits ain't gonna happen either. I see people keep saying term limits. That ain't gonna ever happen either. Going back to the box. Appreciate you folks tapping the screen as we always ask. 75,000 can certainly happen if you let your thumbs not be lazy. Let's try going to Nicholas Writing, I think it says. Good afternoon. Welcome to the program, Nicholas. User, was this? Okay, Nicholas, good afternoon.
Nicholas. Good afternoon, Tim. How you doing, pal?
I'm doing real good. You gotta be from the East Coast with that accent.
You know it, buddy. South Philly, born and raised.
All right. So what do you think of Trump?
I'm voting for him. Bottom line, hands down. We don't get him in office in 2024. It's already a shit show. Mm-hmm. But if we don't get him in office in 2024, we are all done.
What do you think when you say a shit show? What's going on right now with the American, whether it's the economy, the government? What do you see in America right now that's making you say it's a shit show?
Comedy, the economy shit. Gas prices through the roof. Inflation for groceries. Here's for example, Tim. My wife went shopping yesterday to Walmart. Mm-hmm. I got a little army to feed. I got 4 kids, me and my wife and her mom and my brother, okay? Everybody kicks up, my wife spent $700 at Walmart yesterday. That's just for 1 week. When we used to spend $700 in 2020, Tim, that used to last us 2 into 3 weeks. That's what I mean by economy shit now.
I get your point. Let me ask you this. Let me ask you this. What do you think Trump could do to bring down the price of groceries? What do you think he would do to bring that down?
Just get back in office. Just get back in office and win this election the right way. Don't want to hear him complain if he loses, but everybody right now wants that man in office. Everybody wants him in office right now just for how everything's going on right now, Tim.
How do you think the country was being ran when he was in office the first time?
The country was running smooth.
So what?
The people can say what they want. I think the country was running smooth. Prices was back to normal. Gas prices was normal. Everything was normal.
So then I have to ask if he was
I go to work, Tim. I work at the post office. I told you this before. Yeah, I'm sorry. What was that, pal?
I have to ask if he was doing such a great job the first time, why wasn't he reelected?
Why wasn't he reelected, Tim? I think that's real easy to say why, Tim. You know what I mean? I think it's an easy question.
I'm asking. I need your answer. I'm asking.
Want the honest answer?
Yeah.
The bottom line is they didn't want him to be in the office in the first place. They never thought he was going to win in the first place. And then he won, and they were all sick to their stomachs that he was in office. Everybody on the left was sick to their stomachs that man got to become president and has no idea about politics.
But let's take what you're saying.
What has Biden done in 47 years?
Hold on.
What has he done?
Let's take what you're saying.
47 years, Tim.
Yeah, let's take what you're saying. Trump was in office. Things were running fantastic. Right. Even though they didn't want him in office, things were running very well. Why would they not want him reelected if he's running the country well?
That's what I'm saying. I want him elected for back the prices back in 2020, 2016. You know, when we were able to live. You can't even live today, Tim.
But you're not answering it.
Me and my wife, we both kick in together. It's not enough.
Well, no, I want you to tell.
I'm sorry, Dad. Ask me the question one more time.
Yeah, in the comments, Pep says, so all we got is his wife lies about what groceries cost and he gets sick. What I'm asking you is this. if everything was being ran so well when Trump was in office, even though people didn't want him in, we all are happy if we're saving money at the grocery store, paying less at the pump. Why didn't he win a second term?
Right. Honestly, Tim, I think he got robbed. Honestly, I think they fixed the election. Bottom line.
But why?
They say whatever they want in the comments about what
But
why
would you
they didn't want him in office no more?
Why would you not want a guy in office that's giving you a good economy? No, why would they not want that?
The left did what they do to make it happen for themselves. They wanted control. They wanted power of everything. And they got it. And they stuck it right up our asses. Wouldn't help Tim.
Okay. So in other words, you do believe the left took it. You believe he won, but they took it from him.
They robbed him. They robbed him blind.
Why
do you
think
Tim, all these people were dead? People were dead and voting. How's that possible, Tim?
That's tough. So why do you believe
votes of dead people?
Okay, so if the liberals
am I lying on that?
Well, no, you're not, but there's also people on the right pleading guilty to trying to steal the election as well. Do you ignore them? I'm trying to hold Nicholas on.
People were voting. They said it.
Nicholas, your signal's so bad. I'm trying to stay with you, but your signal is so bad. I'm trying to keep you on.
I'm sorry, Tim. I'm in a little bad spot near my house.
Okay.
How about now?
It's okay. There we go. There we go now.
No
okay.
Good?
So what I want to ask you is,
I'm going to stay right here. I'm going to stand right here, Tim.
Perfect. If the liberals took the election from Trump, can you explain why the right, talking about Republican senators and Republican Congress, overwhelmingly are saying he lost? Why isn't the Republicans agreeing with Trump?
Why would they agree with him?
Why are the Republican Senate saying that Trump lost the election?
Why? Because they don't even like him. That's why.
So nobody likes him.
Party don't like him.
So nobody likes him.
Party don't like him, Tim.
Why is he hated?
Nobody likes the guy.
So why is he hated so much?
What is that now? Why is he hated so much? Because he did so great in office for 4 years. He's the most hated guy in the world. He's going to go down in history to the day we die. He'll be talked after we're dead. That he talked forever.
Okay. Is it possible that maybe there's something wrong with the guy if just about all of Washington hates the guy? I mean, you're saying that all of Washington is the bad guy.
My wife keeps calling, Tim.
All right.
Just tell her to please text me.
All right, we're moving on. We're moving on. You got your wife calling. Come on back anytime, Nicholas. Nicholas was MAGA. We wanted to talk to him a little bit more, but obviously he had things going on. Looking in the comments, though, when you're favored by God, you're favored by the devil. That's deep, but I don't quite understand it. The Republican Senate as whole does not say that. Many don't admit it because it's career sabotage to acknowledge there was election interference. Well, let me say this. It's a difference between election interference and Trump won by a landslide. In my humble opinion, I don't think we've ever had an election where there was no election interference. About 350 million people, at least 100 million people voting every damn election. I don't think you'll ever get 100 million people to do anything completely fair and square. So every election has had election interference. Hell, I couldn't even vote in most of them throughout American history. So we know those weren't fair. So yeah, there's always going to be election interference. But there is a difference between showing somebody cheated over here and Trump jumping up and saying I won by a landslide. Election interference does not equate to a Trump victory. You can show Democrats cheating over here, dead folks voting over here, ballot stuffing voting over here. That doesn't mean Trump won by a landslide. Maybe, let's say Trump lost by 1 million votes. So just completely speculate, making this shit up. Let's say he cheated, or better yet, let's say Trump lost fair and square by 1 million votes. But we can show evidence that 250,000 Democrats actually cheated. That doesn't mean Trump won. That means he lost by 750,000 votes. You got to show evidence. I'm not. That's where the issue is. The evidence has not been presented. It's been, I see cheating, therefore Trump won. The therefore part is what is not making it through court. And that is Republican judges as well. You can't go to court saying, well, you know, I went to bed and Trump was winning. I woke up and he's losing. Therefore, that means the Democrats are cheating. They got to show evidence. Show how they cheated. That's where the problem is when it comes down to the Republicans having to show how the cheating took place. It's just assumptions. You know, what did Rudolph Giuliani say? They're passing USB drives around like they're crack. That means they're cheating. They're passing things under the table. I see something that looks suspicious. Therefore, it must be illegal in favor of the Democrats. You can't make that leap. You can't just automatically assume that. That's what 2000 Mules was all about. This looks suspicious. They're ballot stuffing over here. I see a lot of things that don't look right. Therefore, it must be in favor of the Democrats. The mindset is Republicans are honest, Democrats are cheaters. That's just an opinion. It's not based on any fact. That's why they've had a hard time in court, because everything they go to court with, there is some assumptions thrown in there. None of it is straight fact. Look it in the comments though. Hey, can you do me a favor and blink your eye? You know, I get that all the time in the program. I don't know, when I get excited, I turn into, what is the guy with the one eye, the black guy? I can't think of his name right now. Forrest Whitaker. Anytime I start talking, I turn into Forrest Whitaker. I see folks saying, blink your eyes. Okay, there you go. Anyway, there is no evidence because it was flawlessly planned for a long time and a lot of people were in on it. It says straight inside job. It says Gen Xer. In other words, there is no evidence of cheating in the 2020 election because it was flawlessly planned for a long time and a lot of people were in on it. Here's the issue I have with that. If they hated Trump that much and they planned flawlessly for a long, why wouldn't they stop him from getting elected to begin with? Why wouldn't they take the Senate and Congress in that election? Why would they let Biden win but have the Republicans still in control of a significant part of the country? If you're going to cheat, cheat. I mean, to quote the late, great George Michael, if you're going to do it right. Do it with me. I mean, just point that out. If you're going to cheat, then do it right. You don't do a half-ass job. I mean, if the Democrats are going to cheat and they did it right, then they'd have the tuition forgiveness. They'd get a complete universal health care, the George Floyd bill, all of this shit he was passing, minimum wage. He would have got it. That's how you cheat. You don't do it half-ass. So I don't buy that argument. But going back to the box, Putin got his candidate. Explain that. Going back to the box, though. Appreciate you folks that are tapping the screen. Get me on up to 90,000. It would be too obvious. Got to make it look legit, says always. You guys got to show some proof of this stuff. They had a deep-seated plan to cheat for a long time, or in the comments, who said that? Always Wanted said, well, it would be too obvious if they. You can say all this stuff, but at the end of the day, present evidence. Evidence. That's what's lacking in the 2020 election claims. Evidence. Mike Pence was in. Okay, then show some evidence. Attorney General Barr, who investigated, but he was in on it. Where is the evidence of this stuff? That's what's hurting the claims. There's no evidence of this stuff. Looking in the box, Takesha Bowie, good afternoon. Welcome to the program.
Tim.
What did I do?
Hey, Tim.
Hey.
Tim, look. You had said something about all those famous people took a picture with Donald Trump.
Yes.
I took a picture with my ex-boyfriend. At the time, I thought he was a good person, but now he's not. I took a picture with the girl he cheated with.
Damn.
Come on.
Damn.
So a picture means nothing. You don't know them people that you take a picture with until you really know them people you taking pictures with.
But I got to defend Trump and say they didn't just take pictures with Trump. They were inviting him to his weddings and parties.
I slept with my ex-boyfriend in the same bed. We went everywhere together because I thought he was a good person. And now we're not together because I found out he was a fool.
All right, you win this argument. So,
Thank you, Tim.
So,
how you doing?
So at the end of the day, though, does this case in New York make one bit of a difference to you at all? What if he's found not guilty? Why?
I'm gonna say somebody had some muss on him. Because he guilty is Sin City. He guilty. You know, with all the evidence they read out and all the testimony, yeah, he's guilty. But one of the jurors, you know, she's going to be just like that woman. President Trump, please come save us. President Trump. You know, they always talk about liberal tears. But where have you seen us crying at?
Oh, shit, I got video of it. I'm about to make a YouTube. There are liberals were crying when he got elected.
Crying, so I can call them.
I mean, you had Joy Behar and some of them talking about they were going to lead the damn country. Liberals were crying when he got elected.
Are we crying now?
No, because he ain't in office.
They're saying we're crying now. And you know good and well Joy wasn't going to the corner. But the people that just bow down, cry, wail, tears, you know, it's ridiculous how people are acting about a regular man.
Yeah, but I mean, folks are suggesting that under Trump, they could afford to feed their family. They could buy groceries.
Let me say this about that man with the $700 and some dollars at Walmart. Walmart been going up on their prices. I shop there all the time. That's really basically the only place I go. And they been got rid of the yellow Zorro dot. They used to go through there with the little sword slashing prices. He been gone. But if you got $700 to spend at the store, you're still doing good, sir. Because some people don't even have $100 to go in there with. Now stop making up stuff. Your wife probably kept half of that money because she knew, you know, you was going to believe her. And she probably only spent $300 and kept the rest for herself.
Oh, my God.
But you cannot blame Biden because Walmart decide they want a price gouge.
But folks truly believe, Takesha, that if Trump gets back in office, he could bring prices down.
And the Scarecrow, Dorothy, and the Tin Man, and the Cowardly Lion believe the Wizard of Oz was really real with a lot of great powers. But when they got to the end of the Yellow Brick Road, they found him behind that curtain moving machines around.
Oh, my God.
Doesn't matter what they believe.
But I have to ask you the question I asked a few of my viewers earlier. What would be so bad about a second Trump presidency? I mean, was 2006...
He's very divisive. He's the type of man that wants to play get back. He's a grown child, and he's ugly. I'm really sick of looking at him.
Oh, my God. He's ugly?
I'm sorry. He's ugly. His ears are white. His face is orange. I'm tired of looking at the clown in town. It's time for him to go away, Tim.
Have you ever... I'm going to give you 3 words. Have you ever heard of this? Trump derangement syndrome. Have you ever heard of that before?
I hear so much that it don't make no sense.
Okay. Has anybody ever diagnosed you and suggested you have it?
Absolutely not.
Okay.
They know better.
All right.
They know better, Tim. But now, seriously, Trump is too divisive.
Yeah.
Trump, he just wants people that's loyal to him. And that's the problem. If you go against him or disagree with him, then all of a sudden you're a rhino. And you're talking about people that have been in Congress since before I was born. They calling these people rhinos. And they've been Republican all their life. And then you want to call them a rhino, but Trump's not a Republican. He's the rhino.
So then let me ask it to you this way. This came on YouTube in caps, by the way, Anthony Root. How can we not blame the person that is sending money to other countries and giving Americans money to illegal immigrants? In other words, we're taking care of every damn body but the people in this country. How do you respond to that? A lot of MAGA believe that.
Trump gave money to Ukraine.
Yeah.
Okay, so what?
That ain't gonna happen again, though.
Trump gave money to Ukraine.
Yeah, but you know he's promising not to do that on the second go-round.
Tim, he promised his wife he was gonna be faithful. He's not been faithful one time. Trump gave money to Ukraine. And when are they I want them to go look up what the undocumented, because I hate when they calling it, undocumented immigrants get when they come over here. It's basically welfare.
Yeah. And folks are going to claim that a lot of Americans in need can't get access to this stuff that the immigrants are getting. I mean, there is some validity to that.
Let me give you an example, Tim. Stop sending that money to Ukraine. We can use it for the American people. Yeah. Okay, well, we're going to take some of this money. We're going to feed the kids this summer. Oh, no. I had to pay for my kids' lunches. They're not getting no free lunches. Okay, we're going to send the money to Ukraine. Oh, no. Keep it over here for the American people. Where we going to find a way to house the homeless. Oh, no. Half of them not there because they're on drugs. They're bad people. They don't want anywhere to stay. Well, we're going to send the money to Ukraine. Oh, no. Keep it here. Let's help the veterans. Oh, no. See, now you're going too far. You always want to make people, they're going to be around here lazy bums. They need to pull themselves up by the bootstraps.
When the minute you start talking like MAGA, you sound a lot like Whitley Gilbert from A Different World.
Absolutely.
You sound just like her. I'm hearing A Different World while you talk.
They don't want the money over here to be used for the American people. They just want something to complain about. So they jumped on the Ukraine money. We have been giving money to Ukraine since I can remember. They need to find something else to complain about because that's an old record that's been broken a long time.
It's working, though, Takesha. It is working.
It's not working for
me. I get liberals, family members. I get family members that live in Chicago coming to me saying exactly what they're saying is that these immigrants are getting stuff that we need in this city. That they're sending money to the Ukraine when the city of Chicago could use that money. It's working.
I keep telling you, people need to quit following the masses and take the time to research stuff themselves so they won't be looking real crazy when what comes out really comes out.
All right. I don't know, though. I get your point, but like I said, it's working. That's why they're doing it.
This. Marjorie Taylor Greene. Baby, she got dog walk with a pooper scooper. Bleach blonde, bad body, butch body, possum face, Marjorie Taylor Greene. She gonna learn who not to come for. She needs some eyelashes. Maybe that will help that man-looking face. That's why she don't like transgenders, because she used to be one.
Oh my! All right, Takesha, I'll leave it at that. All right, appreciate you coming through. Yikes! Moving on with the program. Marjorie Taylor, I'm not going to touch them with a 10-foot pole. Vote red to save America. We can't take another 4 years of Biden and inflation, says Caleb. We'll see what happens. What is it, less than 5 months? What are we? It's getting close, folks. It really is getting close. Continuing on with the program, though, user. G Urban, I think that says, good afternoon, welcome to the program. By the way, tap the screen, get me on up to 100,000. We're just about there. 800 of you in here. Tap the screen, get the likes up. Same on YouTube. Feel free to smash that like button. Top 3 dots in your screen. Joe Biden has done a decent job, and he's not a wannabe dictator who is trying to overthrow the government like Trump, says Cool Places. What do you think, user Urban? You think that Biden has done a good job?
Oh, heck no. Have you seen not just America, but the world fall apart since that man was selected, not elected? Because if you all remember the night that Trump was slaughtering him, okay, at the polls, all of a sudden, well, why'd they have to shut everything down? And then you go to bed, Trump slaughtered, then you wake up, woo, miracle, Biden won. What do you think about that?
I have heard
you got all these videos, where that people are voting and for Biden and all these, and Republicans were kicked out from counting. They said they stopped, but wait a minute, the Democrats got to keep on counting and pulling boxes out. Well, come on now.
Yeah, but what you're skipping over, Jill, is the fact that Trump sent in a third-party outfit to some of these places, and they came back after investigating people he hired and told them, yes, sir, you did, like in Arizona. He hired a third-party outfit to audit the votes in that state, and they came back and told him he lost. Do we discount that? Do we ignore that happened?
Because they went by, they was counting the ones that they didn't know that they were extra. They did count the ones. They didn't know that they were the extra ones that was tossed in there. Huh. They were bunches. They did count and say, well, yeah, here's what it is. They had no clue that what had done happened.
that they slipped them in on them.
3 recounts and audits in the state of Georgia.
What's going on in Georgia right now? What's going on?
They found
They're getting ready to. They've accepted to look at that again.
Yeah, but if you're gonna point out what's going on in Georgia, do we ignore all the Republicans that pled guilty to the fake elector scheme? Do we ignore that?
No, you don't. No, you don't.
So
it's all going to play out. Just watch. And a lot of these people, like some people say, oh, rhino Republicans, they are rhinos. Let me tell you something why. And we're talking about the politicians, not people.
Right,
okay?
right.
Regular people. Politicians, because let me tell you why. Do you remember when Trump come down that escalator and he said he was going to clean the swamp? And then when he won, they never dreamed he won. If they'd have thought he could have won, they would have pulled the you-know-what in the first place. But he got in there, and from day one, they started attacking him like vultures. You know why? Because of what he found. He found all the corruption on them people, and he had to step in out of his lush, beautiful life and step down into what? Oh, I mean, hell, just hell.
Let me interrupt you. Let me ask you this, Joe. If he found corruption on these people, can you name some of the people that was corrupted he got rid of? What did he do about the corruption he found?
Well, some of them. Well, it was like Bush Senior. What he ordered. Now, I got to let that come out. So people don't get flagged. Wait till you find out what he did, what that man did.
Bush Senior was dead when Trump got elected, though. That doesn't matter. I'm talking about people that are living.
Oh, hold on. Now, do what? Now, what did you say?
You said that Trump found a lot of corruption on people when he got elected. I'm asking you, what did he do? If you found all these people that are corrupt, what did he do?
No, hold up. Before he got elected. That's why he ran, son.
That's
why he ran.
But you're not answering the question. Okay, you ran to point out the corruption. You get elected, you serve in Washington. Give me the corrupt people that he got rid of. What did he do about the corruption?
Well, a lot of them ain't even, some of them ain't in office, but there's some that still are, like Liz Cheney, and her daddy. Wait till you find out what they were involved in. Did you remember when they all went to Bush Senior's funeral? Only a handful of people, okay? Only a handful of people got these little cards slipped in their little, whatever that's called, where it tells all about that person or what have you. And they started falling out of so many. The Obamas got one. The Cheneys got one. The Clintons got one.
But Jill, I'm not hearing.
One where he said, they have it all. I'm sorry.
Jill, he was elected to drain the swamp. Give me some swamp creatures that got drained.
Okay, that got drained. Well, wait a minute. He was fighting them every day, Pelosi and them. How could he? This is a machine, buddy. He's fighting, and guess what? It's not just here in America. This thing is so broad, dude. It goes worldwide. You guys have no clue what's going on. I'm telling you, when it hits you, it might be too late. And I hope you guys wake up. I'm 62, and I'm doing some research. I am digging so deep. But I tell you what, it's getting scary. The more I learn and the further I dig, it is getting pretty scary. But guess what? It's coming out, and that's why they had to come up with all these charges against Trump, because they're the ones. Why do you think Trump poured billions into Gitmo and had to make it so big, huh?
I mean, I'm hearing what you're saying.
He found their corruption out, and they're the ones, all them Democrats, the rhino Republicans, and then leftists, for all their crimes against humanity.
So is it safe to say that even though he promised to drain the swamp, once he got in office, he really did not do that? Is that what I'm hearing?
Well, remember what he said? He goes, you guys, he started getting afraid for his own life. He said, I might not be here tomorrow, because guess what? I don't know if you knew how many you-know-what's attempts on him, but start counting, buddy.
I'm not hearing this, but wait a minute.
By God Almighty.
Jill, I hear everything you're saying about Trump. I want to hear where he successfully did what he promised. Did he get rid of swamp character?
He tried, honey, but listen, he's fighting up against even some people he hired in his cabinet that was not right. He wasn't a career politician, so he didn't even know the daggone corruption and people he hired in his administration. So he's not only trying to find and fix the corruption with people in other parties. Now, what the hell? I gotta try to fix corruption in my own daggone party. They turned on him.
And so
now he's gotta fight this machine that's so big. And when I'm telling you, if it don't get stopped, we're all in trouble. We're in trouble.
So in other words, he didn't drain the swamp during his first 4 years. What makes you think, because you're pointing to everything that stopped him from draining the swamp in his first 4 years, what makes you think that all of those entities won't still be there? Most of the people that were against Trump are still in office.
No. See, now it's going to be his turn. And see, he's got his proof. See, they've got this freaking kangaroo courts going on. And look at it falling apart. And look at what Michael Cohen's, look at that idiot. He brought stupid evidence to court and busted his own damn self. He's probably going back to prison too. Because why? It's all about money and corruption, dude.
Let me ask you that in regards to
in the way.
You're pointing out you're pointing out Michael Cohen. Let me ask you in regards to that case. Do you believe Trump when he says he never slept with Stormy Daniels or Carrie McDougal?
Absolutely. Did you see the Michael Cohen's lawyer? If it needs be, he's going to court for Trump. He said, "Here, I can't believe Michael's doing this." He goes, when I told him when all them charges, when he got in trouble for all them cases he had against him for fraud and tax evasion and stuff, whatever. He goes, "Do you have anything on Trump right now? I could get you out of it." He goes, I don't have any, dude. And he goes, "Are you sure? Anything, I can get you out, buddy. I'm telling you, they're looking for anything for Trump right now. I can get you out." And he goes, "I swear to God, I don't have nothing on Trump, dude." And he goes, "Well, that's a shame, man. I could get you off. I could get you off completely. You won't even do a day in prison." And he goes, I don't have anything. I swear to God, I don't have anything. Now look at it.
So let me ask you this. Let me come at you. Let me flip it and come at you this direction. What would be so bad if Biden got reelected?
Oh my God, we're through. You know, I want to ask you this.
We're through how?
Listen, what did Biden say? If you elect me, what did he say? If you elect me, I'll stop this pandemic. Didn't he?
No, Trump
did
said.
He say that?
No, the pandemic.
No, hold up. I'm asking you, what did Biden say?
Okay.
Look it up.
Well,
He said,
Biden didn't.
"Put me in office so I'll stop this pandemic."
I don't think Biden said that.
Yes, he did. You want me to look it up?
Yeah, well, I can't while I'm talking to you, but I don't. There's no way he would have known.
Okay. And here's what everybody thought. They're talking. Wait a minute. If you love this country, why wouldn't you stop it whether you got voted in or not, buddy? Why wouldn't you want to stop something like that, dude?
Let me.
You have to be in office to stop it.
Okay, I'm going to have to move. I'm gonna have to move it on. But you mentioned the pandemic. In your opinion, how do you think Trump handled the pandemic?
Well, he followed his advisors, and he did wrong. And just like he tried to stop anybody coming in from China, who attacked him but Nancy Pelosi. Well, you bigot, you. And guess who had to wear masks? Everybody but who? Nancy Pelosi and her getting her hair salon done. And
Wait, hold on. You think Trump followed his advisors during the pandemic?
Some of them, yeah, he did. Some of them, he sure did. And they said, just stop. Just close the borders. Don't let anybody in. Yeah, until we get this. They figure out where it's coming from. Da 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 da. Well, he said, I know.
So when Trump said that he thinks the virus would be gone by April, like 3 or 4 months down the road, you think an advisor told him to say that?
Well, yep. There's scientists and doctors that told him that. Yeah. From the sun, natural. Okay. Now look at this. Okay. Look how many died under Trump. Now look how many died under Biden. Now, okay. Look how many died more under Biden. And guess what? Take one shot, and you won't get it. And the sucker, he's had it twice. I'm telling you, it's a moneymaker. That's all it is.
So what you're saying is that
Okay.
Trump was advised that it would be gone by April because the sun would get rid of COVID.
If you got out and got you some sun and look up Corona, and guess what? They couldn't put fear enough in people enough to go and run and get a vaccine that was created in 2 months. So they're like, okay, let's beef up the fear. Let's change it to COVID-19. You want to know why they put 19 on there, buddy?
Why?
Because that's when they released it up on the world in 2019, November. Do your homework. You're going to learn a lot.
I got a lot of folks in the
And
comments.
guess what? They're getting ready to do it again. They're getting ready to do again because guess what? Biden just signed an executive order, 14028, I believe it is. Look it up. Executive order on mask. He's going to make everybody start masking up again in June. Why? How does he know?
I gotta let me because I'm just curious because everybody in the comment section is saying you're Q. What happened on January 6th, Joe?
Oh, what happened? Okay. Start from the very beginning. Okay. There are real true Trump supporters. Then there were those who infiltrated some of the Trump supporters and put on Trump shirts, Trump hats, Trump flags. And this girl was videotaping a bunch of them and that was getting off of these buses, these little white van bus things. And as they're getting in their little outfits, Trump stuff saying, I remember we want Trump and fight. And she's going, no, we're peaceful. Don't do that. And they're like, oh, and as she's videotaping, they start chasing her with her video. It's wanted bad. They keep knocking it off of the air. So they go in there, and what happens? The FBI is infiltrated. It's coming out, and watch the court. Watch. The FBI is now admitting, yes, they infiltrated, and yes, they did antagonize a lot of people. They shot them with rubber bullets to get them going. The leftists, it was a lot of them was BLM and Antifa. They pissed them off when they got.
You believe a lot of the protesters on January 6th were BLM and Antifa?
Oh, yeah. Did you see the video where the true Trumpers were? Let's go home. President Trump said go home, but to only peacefully protest. But this has gotten out of hand. He can't believe. See, at the time, he didn't know about the video that girl had where they infiltrated. They can't believe that their supporters are doing that. Well, now he knows why. Because they weren't supporters. They were dressing like Trump.
All right, Jill. I do got to move it on. As always, you're welcome back anytime. Obviously, we disagree on just about everything you said, but you're always welcome back to the program.
Look it up, and you won't. You'll be thanking me later. Take care, babe.
All right. Thank you for coming through. Appreciate it.
All right, honey.
Wow. There are folks that agree with my last caller. Not as many, but there are folks in the comments that were saying she was right. Certainly when she stated that more folks have perished from COVID under Biden than they did under Trump. Let me just clear up, first of all, how that's not an apples to apples comparison. COVID, the first cases of COVID in America were late 2019. It really kicked off throughout 2020. That's the last year of Trump's presidency. So Trump only had one solid year of COVID. It's been around for Biden all 4 years. So we're literally comparing 1 year of Trump to 4 years of Biden and saying, yeah, of course Biden has seen more folks perish. It's been around his whole damn term. It was only around 25% of Trump's term. So I don't think that's an apples to apples comparison. But I see folks in the comments, well, there's more under Biden than Trump. Yeah. He's had, now, if you compare year for year, that probably would be significantly less. Pick any year of the Biden's presidency and compare it to 2020 with Trump. And the argument would change dramatically. But you got to compare all 4 years, then yeah, I get it. Looking in the comments because of Trump's lack of decision making. Well, and by the way, DJ Julio, yeah, appreciate the hat mustache. Gen Xer says, you should get her and Takesha on the same panel and sell pay-per-view tickets. Gen X, X. And by the way, I talked to Gen X live on his own show last night. Good conversation, Gen X. Gen X is a supporter of the program. Thank you, Gen X, always. It's just like Pelosi saying Trump had the highest unemployment rate due to country shut down. That is playing politics. She shut the country down, didn't blame the president for the unemployment rate. That would be Nancy. If she said that, I'm not for sure, but if she said that, yeah, that's playing politics. And they do that. I mean, obviously Trump says and does that kind of stuff all the time as well. Real quick before we go back to the box, Trump's a smart man, but he wasn't that smart when it came to the bioweapon. He believed Fauci. There's no way in hell I'm going to believe that President Trump believed Anthony Fauci. Trashed the guy. Joked about firing the guy at rallies and all of that. This is where yours truly, I also agree that Trump failed at managing the pandemic. If Fauci sucks, reallocate him to the HIV task force or something like that and find, he had a surgeon general or put Ben Carlson or somebody over the COVID task force. What Trump was doing, standing on stage next to Dr. Fauci, letting Dr. Fauci give out his advice to how the country should handle the pandemic by day, and then Trump would go hold a rally at night and trash Dr. Fauci. Let the audience yell out, fire Dr. Fauci and all of that. Then the next morning, he's back on TV standing proudly next to Dr. Fauci while the man gives out instructions. And he repeated that for like a whole fucking month. Do you realize the mixed messages that sends out? If Dr. Fauci doesn't know what he's doing, take him off the case. Find somebody that does. I mean, that's the whole purpose of appearing on television with a bunch of medical professionals. It's to show that we are all in unison on the advice we're about to give you. President Trump was standing next to a man he clearly didn't agree with and had the power not to stand next to him. Does he not get any blame for doing that? He could have easily taken Fauci off of that. He can't fire Fauci. I don't believe Trump had the power to fire the guy, but he could reallocate him somewhere. He could have gotten him off the COVID task force. But just to leave the guy out there so that you can ridicule him at rallies for political points, that is why folks suggest that Trump did not handle the pandemic well. That makes no sense at all. You're talking out of the side of your neck on that. Look it in the comments, though. Trump couldn't take Fauci off at the time because he had the support of a scared, cornered American people. It would have been political suicide. That's not true. If you feel like you want the public not to be scared, as you say, then why go to rallies and bash the hell out of the guy? You're clearly telling the people he don't know what the fuck he's talking about. If you want to keep America united, then you wouldn't go to rallies and do that. So that doesn't make any sense. Trump was making it clear by way of rallies that he had no confidence in Fauci. Your comment doesn't make sense. Looking in the comments, though, same thing he did with the border bill. He'd rather have something to run on. And it does appear that he was bashing Fauci because it had political value to him. Tap the screen, 110,000 likes, if you will, on TikTok, certainly on YouTube. Get your boy on up to 60. You can make that happen on YouTube. The 3 dots at the top of your screen gives you access to the like button. I appreciate you folks that are tuning in. We don't block, ban, or censor anyone for their commentary. So you don't have to agree with the host. You don't have to agree with anybody in the comment section. Nobody's going to block, ban, or censor you here. It's all about free speech. We go left to Bernie Sanders, so I'm having dinner with QAnon. This is the type of dialogue you enjoy, civilized dialogue from all sides of the aisle. I'd ask that you follow the program on TikTok, a subscription on YouTube, if you will. Daffodil, hello from Tel Aviv, Israel. Wow. I have a million questions to ask you. We could have a conversation all day. Tim probably took the COVID vaccine, Harry Fodder. You damn right I did. Yeah. Why the hell would I go and pay a doctor? I just went to one today, by the way, at my physical or whatever the hell. Why would I pay him if I'm not going to listen to him? If my doctor says, Tim, this is good for your health, this is what I recommend. If I don't think he knows what the hell he's talking about, I'm going to fire him. Why keep going to a guy if you're not going to listen to him? I don't have a medical degree. My education's in business. Makes no sense for folks. You got janitors, garbage men, security guards giving virology advice. That doesn't make sense to me. Why have a doctor if you're not going to listen to him? Looking in the comments, though, moving on with the program. And by the way, if my doctor suggested, look, you know, maybe your heritage, maybe you're overweight, maybe something in your that taking a vaccine is not in your best interest, I wouldn't have took it. I would not have taken a vaccine if somebody that is one of my medical professionals told me it wasn't in my best interest. I would not have taken it. I had like 5 different doctors tell me or ask me, have you been vaccinated? You know, you go to an appointment, hell, even the damn dentist, you know, you go for a cleaning. Have you been vaccinated? I haven't had a single medical professional, and I deal with medical supplies. I'm in the hospitals all fucking day. I haven't heard any of them saying, I've heard a couple of them say that they didn't trust it, but the overwhelming belief in the medical community is that you should be vaccinated. There are some medical professionals that are against it, but overwhelmingly, most medical professionals that have been trained in that field, medicine, sciences of surgery, and they all believe you should be vaccinated. What am I supposed to do? Tell them I know more than them? So yeah, I took the vaccine. That's what the people I hired to help me maintain longevity told me I should do. Okay, fair enough. Looking in the comments though, everyone who pushed and gave the jab got something. I'm adding something. His statement says everyone who pushed and gave the jab got, and there's nothing else there. So I don't know what the something is. What did they get? Unvaxxed, I'm still alive. Yeah, okay. 50 Cent got shot 9 damn times and he's still making top-notch music and movies. You want to try getting shot 9 times too and bragging about how you're still alive? Some people get lucky. Going back to the box, DJ Julio, good afternoon. Welcome to the program. I got vaccinated. It is what it is. If you didn't get vaccinated, you're still alive. Congratulations. DJ Julio, good afternoon.
What's happening?
Not much at all. We're talking about this New York Alvin Bragg paying off a porn star hush money case. Does it matter to you at all?
Well, it's like we talked last week. I told you all this shit's gonna start falling off his docket, one by one by one. By June, I said by June we were gonna hear the truth. And what happens in June? The very first debate.
What if he's found guilty? What if he's found guilty?
It ain't happening.
You sure?
100%. After Cohen's testimony, there's no way he could be found guilty. No freaking way.
Yeah. Now let's just do for shits and giggles. I get you feel like he's going to be either hung jury or exonerated, but for shits and giggles, if he's found guilty, would it make a difference at all?
Not at all. You know that.
Okay. So you've already made your mind up no matter what.
I'm riding with Trump because he did. He fought the system the entire time. Even with, the COVID, he fought the system. He played along. He had to do his part. But what are you going to do? How are you going to give people just enough rope to hang themselves? You got to let them do what they're doing. And right now, he did. He let them pull off their 2020 pandemic.
Well, as a resident from the south side of Chicago, I know a lot of people that fought the system. Their ass is still in jail. Fighting the system doesn't always mean anything. I mean, Trump fought the system. What good came out of him fighting the system?
It's not come out yet, Tim. He's still fighting. When it's all said and done, when it's all said and done, you're going to see the swamp for what it is, and it's going to shock a lot of people.
Well, I don't want you to show me. I want you to do something about it. What is he going to do?
Well, that's what I'm saying. The showing will be in the doing.
Okay. So you believe he is going to drain the swamp eventually?
He's working on it right now. He's showing how crooked everybody on the prosecution side of this New York case. He's showing them exactly how corrupt they are.
I don't know if I've seen that.
He's allowing them. I should say he's allowing them. He's allowing them to show how corrupt they are. Alvin Bragg, he puts Cohen, says Cohen is his star witness, his prime witness. This is the one that's going to lock Trump up.
Yeah.
And the dude lies.
Yeah.
The dude lies and lies and lies. And then, oh yeah, by the way, I stole 30 grand from the organization.
Yeah. Yeah, Michael Cohen.
Going back to jail.
Yeah, I can't argue with the fact that Michael Cohen's credibility looks shot. I'm not going to disagree with you on that, but the fact is Trump has not got on the witness stand. Do you see Trump as credible?
I don't think he needs to get on the witness stand. It's not his job to prove that he's innocent. It's the state's job to prove that he's guilty.
That is true.
If I was him, I wouldn't get in the back and forth battle with it. I would let my lawyers do their job. And from what we can all see, all the ones that are in the chat box calling me Foolio, I'm like, come on, I come up with something better than that. You ain't gonna hurt my feelings, youngsters.
Well, I agree with you. I agree with you that it is not Trump's job to prove his innocence. It's their job to prove him guilty. But do you believe what Trump is saying? He never slept with Stormy Daniels. Do you believe that stuff? He's never slept with Kerry McDougal. Do you think he's telling the truth?
I'm believing it more and more as the days go by.
So you're starting to believe they are making all this stuff up?
Yeah, they're trying to bury somebody who was trying to bury them.
Kerry McDougal? He was trying to bury her? How?
No, I mean, he's going to bury all of them. He's going to bury every single one of them people.
How is he going to bury Stormy Daniels or Kerry McDougal?
You discredit them, you call them liars, you show they're lying, and it's over. He's got Cohen done. Now he's just got to wait for Stormy. Stormy's coming next. They'll be discredited Stormy next week if it goes that long. It's not going to go that long though. That case is going to be over by tomorrow.
The woman described the head of his dick. You think she's making that up?
Yeah, Tim, I've seen your dick, dude. I've seen yours. Come on. It's got a nice round helmet. It's got a freaking big pee hole. It's got a decent size for a black man. Now, do you think everybody in your chat section is going to believe that me and you have had sex?
Let's not find out.
Now, the guy that just jumped, I can tell you right now, the guy that just jumped in my van is probably going, what in the fuck, Ryan? But that's what I'm saying to you, Tim, is just that. Okay. I'm saying I can say anything about anybody. I can say it about you. I can say it about my buddy who owns a tattoo company here in Rapid City, South Dakota called Convicted Design Tattoo and Piercing. I can say I've done the same things to him.
Okay.
If enough people believe it, guess what? Now it's the truth amongst the left.
Yeah, but how do you feel with Trump suggesting, well, actually he was asked about Stormy Daniels when he was on Air Force One, said he never met her before. And then she produced pictures of them together.
You know, who hasn't Trump been around in the leagues of the rich?
So you just think it was she just got lucky to get to him and take a picture?
No, she didn't get lucky. She got a picture because they were at an event together, and what's happening now is she's going to get paid for lying for him. Not for Trump, but for the other side.
Okay. And the same with Kerry McDougal. He never had anything to do with her, and there are pictures of them together as well. They just making this stuff up.
Yeah, I've taken a lot of pictures with a lot of celebrities. If I wanted to, I could start shit with all of them. Yeah, I was with Mike Shinoda and Chester Bennington in Rapid City, South Dakota for their concert, and fucking Mike Shinoda put his finger in my butt. Now, if that gets enough traction, I'm getting paid.
Well, in regards to stories getting enough traction and you getting paid, it also appears, one thing that came out during this hearing is that Trump was working directly with Pecker of the Inquirer, National Enquirer magazine, and they were deliberately putting out trash stories to help Trump, up to and including suggesting that Ted Cruz's dad was involved in the Kennedy assassination, and then everything they would put out to help Trump, he would use that stuff on his campaign rally. So we did have a media outlet working directly with the Trump campaign, even contacting Trump to get these stories out that were all false and fabricated.
Well, and that's why I say, and Trump has always said, fake news. He knew they were fake because all it took was a little money and he got his story out. Come on.
So Trump was saying fake news. Trump was saying fake news because he was knee deep in it.
Yeah, because he's exposed it. He's exposed it and used it for his campaign. Why wouldn't you?
That ain't exposing it. That's using it.
Which exposes them.
You don't expose assaults on children by sleeping with one. I mean, he was doing it. He wasn't exposing it. He was doing it.
That's not apples to apples. We're talking news outlets. We're not talking pedophilia, Tim. Come on. You got to apples to apples with it. You can't apples and grapes with it. It's not going to work that way.
I'm just simply saying, you're talking about fake news while you're actually participating in fake news.
Now we all know it's fake news, right? When we all realize that it's fake news, come June, like I told you, Tim, like I said, in June, I've got $1,000 coming your way in August if he still has any of these charges. You know that.
Well,
I'm putting my money where my mouth is. This is all bullshit, and we see it in South Dakota for sure.
Let me make it clear that if Trump wins again, there will still be open cases on him. The goal is not to beat all these cases. The goal is to delay and become president and make him go away. He's not going to be found not guilty or exonerated on all this shit.
It does. This case right here is going to start the freaking domino. When tomorrow comes out and that judge hits the gavel and he says, we do not have a case here, sorry to have wasted your time, what's going to happen nationally? People are going to crumble. People are going to get scared. People are going to fall. They're going to hire their own attorneys. They're going to say, okay, I lied. I didn't like Trump. He was fucking with my money.
Wow. So how do you feel about people? How do you feel about people suggesting that if Trump gets reelected, he's going to go on a revenge tour?
I would agree with them.
You think he should do that?
Yeah, absolutely. You hold those accountable who held your name in dirt, 100%.
So the question is, let me ask you this, because folks say that Trump could not do his job when he was president the first time because people were always coming at him. If he spends his second term always going after people, won't that also interfere with him doing his job?
Excuse me. You got to understand, Trump isn't going to do this himself. He is going to hire a team of people, and that's going to be their job. Their job is to go after everybody else, and he's going to run the country like he wanted to the first 4 years. And once that happens, I'm not in North Dakota, bud. I'm in South Dakota.
I saw that.
Pay attention to the conversation and get your facts right.
I did see that.
Christ. Yeah, I did. But
you scaring me, Julio. You're scaring me. You're making it sound like if Trump gets.
Well, I'm scared for my country. I got daughters. I got daughters coming up in this chaos. We need somebody who's going to come in and say, nope, America first. End of story. You got a problem with that? I'll see you on the battlefield.
What? Do you want civil unrest?
No, but I tell you what, if people stop fighting the good fight, yeah, it's going to get civil. It's going to get unrest.
I don't see how America benefits from any of this at all. I just don't see it.
Exactly. So what America needs to do is quit believing everything they see and hear and actually go read some shit, understand some things, listen to the words that Trump is saying. I've sent you a bunch of things that would be great talking points.
I didn't get
to your inbox.
I'm gonna have to look. Well,
it's on one. It's on one of them.
Okay. So at the end of the day, Stormy Daniels is making it up. Obviously, Michael Cohen. You believe what is the other girl? Carrie McDougal's making it up. What about E. Jean Carroll? Is she making it up too?
They're all getting paid to talk.
That don't mean they're making it up though.
Probably. That's enough for me to say probably, because I tell you what, if you hurt me, you wouldn't have to pay me for me to tell you you hurt me.
All right. I don't know, Julio. That's strong. All these women are just making it up. I appreciate you coming on. You know how we do, but I don't know if I believe that. Thank you.
It's okay. I mean, I'm anxious to find out too. I would love to be proved wrong. I'd love to be proved that my country isn't full of shit. I'd love that. But Donald Trump keeps making me believe that our country's full of shit.
I don't know. I think that Trump is playing victim, man. I really do. I mean, the 2020 election, I haven't seen the evidence. I just don't see it.
He's kind of a victim. Listen, he got stole from the guy who's trying to prosecute him right now. The guy that's a witness for the prosecution stole $30,000 from a Trump organization. That's not small change.
Yeah, but you hired a dude to do dirty shit to other people. And now he does it to you, and suddenly you want to point that out? The stuff he did to Trump, that's what Trump hired him to do to everybody else.
He didn't hire him to steal money from people. Who did he hire him to steal money from?
No, his job was to be a fixer, to fix shit, make shit go away by any means necessary. You hire somebody to be a shady character for you, and then they rip you off. You heard of the statement about the person that picks up a snake, and the snake bites him and looks him in the eye and say, "What the hell you think I was going to do? I'm a snake?" That's what he hired.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're not wrong there.
Yeah.
But I tell you, I would have no mercy on that snake that I hired to take care of. Like, I got rattlesnakes. What am I going to do? I'm going to go get me a bull snake. A bull snake is going to kill all the rattlesnakes. It's going to take care of all my mess. Right? If that bull snake turns around and bites me, I'm cutting its head off.
Okay. We're going in a different direction with that, but I'm just simply saying Trump didn't go out and hire a reputable firm to look out for him. He hired some dude that goes behind the scenes and makes shit disappear in the shadows of the night. Stormy Daniels even talked about how somebody walked up to her and told her it'd be a shame if something happens to your daughter. That's the kind of shit that Michael Cohen was involved in. Trump knew what he was doing behind the shadows. Now all of a sudden it happens to him, and suddenly Michael Cohen is a bad guy.
I'm not saying Michael Cohen's a good guy. I never said that. Michael Cohen is bad because he stole $30,000 from an organization ran by his boss.
Okay, fair enough.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. So at that point, it makes him uncredible to me. Tim, if you did that to me, you are now I can't trust you. If you do that to me, even though I hired you to do things to make my life easy, that I didn't have to worry about shit. If you bite me, Tim, I'm not going to trust you, bud.
I agree with that.
I'm not going to trust your word.
I agree with that, but I'll counter you and say this. If you hire me to treat people like shit to make your life better, you're not shit either. You're right, I'm a bad person, but you're making it clear you're not an upstanding citizen either, because you hire me to do this shit.
You hired an attorney to do a lot of shit, yeah.
Crooked shit.
I mean, well, maybe crooked shit, maybe not crooked shit. I don't know.
Okay. Let me just say this.
Listen, I get what you're saying 100%. I really do see your perspective.
Yeah.
When I come on here, you always enlighten me. I get off the phone and I was like, man, you were kind of an asshole, Ryan. But
never that.
I like the conversation because it's a debate. Do I really believe Trump is a good person to the heart, to the core? I don't know. I don't know that I could say yes. All right. Appreciate you coming on, Julio. Always a pleasure. Anytime, man. Thank you. Absolutely.
Anytime.
I appreciate your conversation and your show.
Appreciate it. All right, looking in the comments, and that's what I'm saying, folks, is that I have a hard time, regardless of how you view Michael Cohen. I do believe the guy lacks credibility. In fact, I told the guy to his face. Many of you folks are aware that I got to interview Cohen for a half hour, and I told him before I asked him that question. What do you think the jury's going to think of you, admitting that you helped Trump hide a mistress from his wife with a home loan that you were hiding from your wife? And he didn't like me asking. I asked him a few questions. I asked him all kinds of shit, and I pretty much told him, I was like, you better hope there's no broken-hearted women on the jury. He didn't like none of the shit I asked him, but fact is, Trump knew that Michael Cohen was a swamp creature. When you drain the swamp, you hired somebody from the damn swamp. And you didn't just hire somebody from the swamp, you went to the swamp to pick this motherfucker up. You knew he was a swamp creature. In fact, your job application says seeking swamp character. Need position filled by swamp character. Trump knew this guy was a swamp character. So I have to point that out. DJ, Julio, yeah! Thank you for the hat and mustache. So while not suggesting Mike the Sailor, yeah! Once again, he's had mustaches. Thank you. Got your boy looking real Hispanic. this afternoon. So while we're pointing out Michael Cohen lacks credibility, and I believe he does, it's not like Trump was trying to hire a choir boy and got Satan. Trump was trying to hire Satan and got Satan. It's just that Trump didn't expect to be in hell with Satan. Trump knew what he was hiring. He just didn't want it used on him. Wow, that is cool. Thank you for that, whatever that was. I've never seen that before. The stinging bee. DJ Julio, thank you. So, looking in the comments, Biden sold out our country to China. No way, no how does that make sense. Trump, or better yet, Biden went to Taiwan, Julio. Trump went to Taiwan and stated that if China does anything to Taiwan, America has his back. That doesn't sound like we sold out to China. That doesn't make sense. Why does my African-American co-worker hate Trump and white people? Racist? Perhaps he's racist? Well, could be personal experiences. Let's be clear, the media does sway hearts and minds. I mean, if you're watching Fox, I've said this before, as someone who watches a lot of right-wing media, if I'm sitting there watching Fox News over and over again, what do they show in a loop? Black Lives Matter with a car burning, or kids going into a Walgreens and robbing shit over and over again on every segment, or you get drag queen shows where some gay person is talking about they want children to know about them, or you hear about an illegal immigrant that, beat up a cop, and it's over and over and over and over again. I could see anyone hating those groups of people, because a lot of elderly folks, like myself, I'm all day long, I'm listening to news. A lot of it's right wing. It started affecting me to some degree because, damn, are we really this fucking bad? I mean, so I can understand it. And the same thing could happen to a black person that does not favor whites. If you're sitting there watching Farrakhan all damn day or something, I mean, MSNBC does it as well in regards to police, for instance. If a police abuses or mistreats a black person, MSNBC is going to show that shit all day long. So the media knows what they're doing. Going back to the box, though, the news is depressing no matter what channel it is. Why watch it at all? I don't totally agree with that. Stay away from opinionated news. Watch us here, because this shit is opinionated. So I don't want to, I want to plug the program. So I don't want to tell you to turn this shit off because it is opinionated. But stay away from opinionated news. What I mean is watch your local ABC, CBS, NBC, Fox affiliate in your town. Talking about the 10 o'clock news or the 11 o'clock news on the East and West Coast. That isn't as biased. That's not going to be as biased. But if you watch news where you got commentators, Rachel Maddow, Sean Hannity type, yeah, that shit's going to be meant to skew your mindset. It's very opinionated. So stay away from the cable news outlets. Watch your local 10, 11 o'clock news, and it'll just tell you what's happening in your town, maybe give you a little hint of what's going on nationwide and globally, and it's in a 30-minute format. It's not giving you all these damn opinions and things like that. You watch cable news, and they'll tell you Biden's ruining the world, or Trump is an outright racist. Stay away from that shit. Looking in the comments, watch the news from other countries. You'll see something new. That is true. Al Jazeera, BBC, even Sky News out of Europe. Yeah, that is true. Because we believe that America has a patent on freedom and we're the best country on earth. And no, it's just not true. Going back to the box, Stick the Ruler. Good afternoon. Welcome to the program. Does this case in New York make any difference at all? We'll give the box a chance to come up real quick. What is that? Says B2 says, has Trump sown division? Answer, yes, when he labeled Black Lives Matter terrorists. Yeah. Folks blame Obama when he said that Trayvon Martin could be his own son. He was taking us out of Black Lives Matter, and they suggested Trump, or better yet, Obama, was sowing division. So people don't, look, Black Lives Matter is going to be controversial. Anybody, any group that is fighting on behalf of civil rights is going to have its share of haters. Martin Luther King going up. Every civil rights leader in American history had a lot of people that hated them. The fact is, people don't want everybody having civil rights. People don't want that. I mean, so even when you look at Susan B. Anthony, the woman that's on the dollar coin, fighting for women's right to vote back in the early 1900s, she got her ass beat. She was fighting for civil rights for women. She got her ass beat for that. People don't like folks fighting on behalf of civil rights. It's always been that way. Going back to the box, though, why is that divisive to relate to a child? Black baby boy, I don't quite get your comment. I don't quite get that. We'll go back to the box, though. Don't know what happened with my last guess. We'll go to accountable. Can't argue with a name like accountable. Certainly want more politicians held that way. Dump is compromised. I'm assuming that's a different way of pronouncing Trump. Dump. Taking a dump. Dump is compromised. How so? How so? Real quick in the comment section. And if you think that Donald Trump is not a victim of this process, of this evil system that never accepted we the people, then you are blind and detached from reality. Call the truth. Yikes. Christine, I mean, I hear your point, but you are talking to a black dude. You're talking about the system and not accepting we the people. You're talking to a black dude. I mean, even if Trump is being completely victimized, shit. I would trade places with Trump and the way the system is victimizing him right fucking now. Other than being 77 years old. I don't want to be old as fuck. I'm already old enough. But other than that, give me Trump's position and all of the smoke that he allegedly is incurring. You mean I get a jet? I get a supermodel wife and that wife don't care if I have other wives? Give me that position. I like being victimized like that. I'll take it, you know. Looking at the comments. Man, I'm just trying to watch some damn Mario Kart. The only thing you have dealt with, anything, is dealing with stereotype. Don't quite get that. Okay, if I vote for Trump, what am I voting for? And if I vote for Biden, what am I voting for? Well, I give you a laundry list before we go back to the box. Vote for Trump, you're voting for very strong Second Amendment rights. You're voting for very strong pro-life legislation. You're voting against helping the Ukrainians in the Ukraine-Iraq war. You're voting for what did Trump call it? A nationalist America. I'm a nationalist. I'm focused only on America. That's what you're voting for if you're voting for Trump. You voting for Biden? Student loan tuition forgiveness. Universal health care maxed out. Common sense gun laws. Pro-choice rights for women. Some people agree with the Trump side. Some people agree with the Biden side. I'm just giving you what you're voting for. There are legitimate reasons to vote for both sides, depending on what you care about, what you favor. The economy is what most people vote for. Now, I believe the polls show more people vote, or better yet, favor Trump in regards to handling the economy than Biden. My opinion on it is a bit different. My opinion is I think folks are giving Trump credit for being able to do things that if he is reelected, he's not going to be able to do. Remember, he was going to drain the swamp. He was going to get Mexico to pay for the wall. I mean, there are a lot of people who believed he was going to be able to do this stuff. Trump promised a lot of things that did not come to fruition. By the way, Biden is doing some of that as well. But getting America's economy, inflation rates, the cost of goods and services to go backwards about 7 or 8 years, I don't think Trump can do that. Not in a free market. You can't go and force somebody to charge what they used to charge 6 years ago for what they're selling you, unless you're going to use big government to somehow pull some magic. But I do believe that Trump is promising some things that once he is elected, it'll be a case of the liberals are stopping him from doing it. Remember Trump ran on the campaign of there's major crime going on in big cities, and he'll get crime down. The minute he got in, well, liberal judges and liberal governors, and it's the liberals' fault. But when he was on the outside looking in, he was telling you he could change it. So, and I think that's happening now. He's still running on a campaign of bringing down crime. The president can't control the crime rate in Chicago. There's nothing he can do about that unless he starts passing all kinds of big government legislation taking away the rights of states in individual cities. And he's claiming he's for states' rights. So that's not going to happen. But he is running on that. And Trump supporters do believe that if he is elected, the price of goods and services are going to drop, and the crime rate is going to go along with it. He just doesn't have the power to do that. Thank you for the elephant ears, Dana Clark. Thank you. He knows people don't know better. Could be a case of that. People do believe he's going to be able to do this stuff, and it's just not. And like I said, if he's elected, it's going to be, well, he would have done it, but the liberals are getting in the way. No, you can't do that. What are you going to do? Go in Illinois and say, well, if you're caught breaking in a car, it's a federal crime now? I mean, he can't control that shit. Going back to the box, moving on with Keith Davenport. Good afternoon, Keith. He likes the poorly educated. Yikes. Why do people praise puppets? Do people not understand that the president is a puppet? People don't believe that. People don't believe that the president is a puppet. It's not personal. It's not personal. It bodies run by bodies, and who votes for them. Okay. I'm having issues with the box. I'm trying to bring up guests, not trying to talk your damn ear off. Nevertheless, the box is problematic today. Looking in the comments, though, we'll tackle a few comments while the box resets. That's his strategy. Uneducated and individuals that just need to argue. Yikes. Richard Landry Moonshiner. Clown. Here's one. I always like my dissenting opinions. You guys know I believe in free speech. I don't run from any comment. Clown. Use a clown emoji. Do you believe Biden is more qualified with 45 years in Washington, D.C.? If so, no need to debate anything. Seriously. Now, Biden is obviously aging, similar to Trump, but even more so. He's older than Trump. But in regards to is Biden qualified, you may think Biden didn't accomplish shit all 40 years he was in Washington. We can debate that. But he is absolutely beyond qualified. Look at his resume. Congress, promoted to Senate for a number of years, promoted to VP he literally is climbing the ranks. Yeah, he's qualified. You just disagree with the shit he's promoting. That's about as qualified as you can get. He literally stair-stepped his way to the president. Knows everybody in D.C., has had a host of friends. Yeah, he probably is more qualified than anybody. That don't mean he got in there and did a good job. Maybe you think he sucks. I get that. But he absolutely is qualified. He knows every facet of Washington because he went through all the ranks. It's like having a CEO that has worked in every position in his company. Yeah, he's qualified. Yeah, he absolutely is qualified. He may just suck at doing it, in your opinion, but he absolutely is qualified. He can talk to a congressperson. I know what it's like to be you. He can talk to a Senate, say the same damn thing. He can talk to even a VP. He knows how it is to debate. He knows what it's like to win elections, lose. He knows every facet of Washington. How much more qualification do you need? Yeah, he's qualified. His resume would look like a C-scroll. Look it in the comments, though. More qualified than Trump, and the reason he formed. I don't get that form part of it, Kurt. Even if Michael Cohen was not lying and telling the truth, it doesn't matter because it is no significance to anything. It's still nothing. No one's ever been charged for it. It is off base. there is nothing, says Christine Marshall. I think there's some validity to some of that. Trump is being charged with something that normally people get a pass with. Here's what I don't like about it, though. Hunter Biden is being charged also with some bullshit. Lying on a gun application, didn't commit any felonies with the gun or anything. Got rid of the gun. Wasn't even caught with the gun. Just lied on the application, a standalone crime. Hunter Biden is literally being railroaded on that charge. It's a bullshit charge. If Hunter Biden's dad was not running for president, could easily make a deal behind scenes, pay a small fine, and that shit would go away. The only reason that's being hammered is because his dad is running for president. That is the only reason that's going on. So, yeah, some of it's happening to Trump the same way politically, but Hunter Biden is certainly the victim of a political hit job as well. And the right don't want to see that. But if he was Elon Musk or Jeff Bezos' son or Bill Gates' son or even other presidents that are no longer in office, that was George W. Bush's kid, a deal would be made behind the scenes, pay a small fine for lying on a gun application, and that shit would go away. It would be that simple. It's being blown out of proportion because they want to hurt Joe Biden. The same way some of this stuff on President Trump. I believe in particularly in Letitia James' case, and I'll try to go back to the box after this. Letitia James with that whopping $335 million judgment. I think most people consider that to be excessive. With a 6-3 majority on the Supreme Court, Trump ain't gonna be paying nowhere near that. Once that gets to the Supreme Court, they're gonna draft that if they don't throw the case out entirely. The Supreme Court is pro-Trump. But I will say this. If Trump was not running for president, they would have found that information. And just like with Hunter Biden, Trump would have probably paid $1 million or $2 million. He would have used somebody like Michael Cohen, another fixer. Go ahead and talk to them, whatever, make that shit go away. Sir, they came back and said, okay, you owe $1.5 million, and they'll be fine with that. And that's what would have happened. He would have paid a small amount of money for his riches, and it would have went away. But because he's running for president, there you go. Looking in the comments, it happens to both sides. It's not just Trump ain't the only victim in this shit. Trump, by the way, is fine putting people through the same witch hunts that he went through. If his competitor going through a witch hunt will help him out, he don't mind doing that shit to you at all. It just sucks right now because he's going through it, but he would happily put his competitor through the same shit. Looking in the comments, let me go back to the box, see if this will work this time. We'll try Tom. Good afternoon once again. The box has just been really problematic all of a sudden. Trump is a victim. I cry every night because they are so mean to him. Wow, are you in your feelings, Big T? I know you're being sarcastic. Once again, the box is acting problematic. Ozzy, you asked, how do you call in? At the bottom of your screen, there should be an icon down there to make our conversation happen. By the way, appreciate you folks that are tapping the screen, certainly on YouTube. Make 70 happen, if you will, the 3 dots at the top of your screen. Feel free to follow the program. You know we don't block, ban, or censor anyone. First Amendment always reigns supreme here. Lady 8560, thank you very much. You don't have to agree with anybody in the comment section. Nobody gives a damn if you disagree with the host. It's all about free speech here. We won't censor or limit your time because you have a different opinion. Yeah! Alter ego. Thank you. Program is, always has been, MAGA friendly. We go left to Bernie Sanders to having dinner with QAnon. If you enjoy civilized dialogue from both sides of the aisle, without any concern of being blocked, banned, or censored, follow the program to my TikTok viewers. A subscription on YouTube, if you will. You are wrong. Trump never prosecuted any of his political opponents. Here's the issue I have with that, because folks said the same thing about Trump letting folks lock Hillary Clinton up and things like that on a debate stage, saying she would be in jail. In my opinion, you don't have to violate somebody's due process rights. Joking about it. Hinting that you will do it is equally as wrong when you're seeking the nation's highest office. Trump was constantly promising to lock up Hillary Clinton without ever giving her a day in court. Okay, he didn't do it, but he certainly was flirting with it and talking about it, and a lot of his supporters thought he was going to do it. That is wrong too. It is wrong to let folks yell out, lock her up, when this woman ain't been convicted of shit. There's not one jury that came back with a not guilty. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with the box. It never went to a jury. Yeah, that's the problem. You don't have a case to yell, lock her up to. She hasn't been convicted of anything. Everything about that is wrong. What are you going to do? That is actually, by the way, not suggesting that he is or even was, but that actually is what dictators do. They lock you up without any due process. Now, I'm not saying Trump is a dictator, not saying he was a dictator, but that is some dictator type shit. Lock her up, okay? Does she get a fair shake in court? No, just lock her up. You don't get to celebrate that. Stating a fact isn't as bad as actively trying to imprison your political opponent. Lock her up is not stating a fact. Stating a fucking wish. It's not stating a fact. That's stating a wish. And she didn't have a day in court. I don't know what else to say to that. Now, if the argument is, and thank you, what was that? Jay Gar for the hat and mustache. Yeah! Appreciate it, although belated. If at the end of the day, if the argument is, yeah, Trump was wrong, but the liberals are wronger, I don't know where else to go with that. That's just like, well, I only called you a socialist, but you call me a racist. Racist is worse than socialist. If you don't want this shit to happen, don't engage in the shit. That's just the way I look at it. All of this, well, you're wronger than me. What the hell is this, a man fighting a woman? The man can't hit back because the man hits harder than a woman. Don't hit. It's as simple as that. Don't throw a hit and you won't have to worry about the person hitting you back harder. Get out of the game. Don't insult and then say, well, yeah, but his insult was worse. Going back to the box one more time, we'll give it a shot. Really problematic today. The one and only Gen Xer. Well, now I just clicked on wait a minute. Let me see, what the hell did I just do? Pro Quo and Son made dirty deals with Ukraine and China. Bribery, embezzlement, extra. Here's another issue I point out all the time. Hillary Clinton, Joe Biden, Hunter Biden with the Ukraine thing you're talking about. Almost all of these crimes happened before Trump became president. Up to and including him claiming that the election was rigged as well. He's pointing out all of this crime, successfully becomes the nation's commander-in-chief, leaves office, and still is pointing out all of these criminals. Why didn't you do something about it? Why didn't you have the DOJ or Congress put they did put Hillary Clinton up and they found nothing on her, but why didn't you do something about all of this stuff? Did we just hire you to point shit out? Or did we hire you to get things done? If what Hunter Biden was doing was so damn corrupt, I don't recall Hunter Biden being investigated once under Trump's term. Why not do something? Other than just claiming all of this shit. You had the chance to do something about it. You promised to drain the swamp. Now that you're out of office, you're going to point it out and ask why the Biden administration is not following through? Gen X, good afternoon.
Big Tim?
I'm in the swamp. I'm in the trenches, man. They hammering me today.
Something that might be going on with your box, bro, is if people call in and they're on the highway or they're on a weaker internet connection, like a 4G or something, that may have something to do with them being able to connect with you. Because I'm on a gigabyte, a home internet connection, and it seems like every time that you have a problem with it and I go ahead and I hop in for you, it usually lets me right in. So yeah, just some food for thought for you.
Yeah, you definitely came right up. And I tried to bring up like 3 or 4 guests. You definitely came right up. So
yeah, I saw that. I saw that.
I don't know. So at the end of the day, does this case matter to you, man?
No, absolutely not, man. I don't care what happens with this case. Either way, it's a win-win situation for Trump.
Do you buy into, like my last caller was suggesting, that Trump never slept with Stormy Daniels, never slept with Karen McDougal? Do you think they're all just making this stuff up?
You know, the man in me says, man, he fucked the shit out of those chicks.
It says that in me too. It says that in me too.
The loyalist to Trump says, maybe you didn't. Maybe that. I mean, come on, the guy, how many people has he met? I mean, for him to say, well, I didn't remember her, this and that. I've met a lot of people in my life. I don't remember a fraction of them.
Yeah.
So do I think it's possible that he could have met somebody that took a picture with him that he honestly just doesn't remember? Yeah, I think it's within the realm of possibility. Do I think it's likely? Probably not. But because I wasn't there, I got to give the man the benefit of the doubt because I do support him. I think he's the booger with the sugar, Tim.
Well, you can you can support someone and still, like, I support Bill Clinton, but I'm not going to say he didn't get his dick sucked. I mean, I support him, but I'm logical about it. What about the grab him by the you-know-what? You think that was locker room talk, or was that based on reality?
Yeah, I think that was locker room talk. I don't think he never said, now let's clear this up. Let's be real here. He never said he grabbed anybody by the hoo-hoo. He never said that.
What did he say?
What he said was he was talking to somebody, and, you know, you could go up to these girls and you could grab them by the pussy.
So
that's what he said.
He was talking to somebody. You're telling me he's talking to somebody else, and they said to him, you can grab women by the pussy?
No. He said it. The words fell out of his grill. He said it. Oh, God, you know.
Yeah. I gotta vehemently disagree with you. I may have said this to you before, but I know I've said it on the program before. If you look like Trump, when I'm talking about when he was younger, he was an attractive guy. He's over 6 foot tall. He's incredibly wealthy, has access to everything from apartments women could use to a television show they could be on, just all types of shit women want. Claiming he's worth $10 billion. My opinion stays the same. If you are worth that kind of money and you look decent, you don't have to lie on your dick. If a guy tells me that's a billionaire, that he had 40 butt-naked supermodels in the pool with him, I believe that. A billionaire don't need to make up stories. You can make all this shit really happen.
The only thing attractive about Trump, and I love Trump. I'm his boy. I MAGA 100%. But the only thing attractive about Trump when he was young was his money. He looked like a mushroom with a mullet.
Oh, no, hang on one second. I'll let you continue, but here's a funny comment. Dirty 2 said, my comment about you don't need to lie on your dick deserves an unfollow. Apparently I pissed somebody off. Look, if you want free speech, don't get mad when the speech goes against what you believe. Listen, if I had $1 billion, I'm not telling you one lie on my dick. If I say that happened, damn it, it happened. I got too much fucking money to have to make dick tales up.
Right.
Yeah.
No, and I would agree with that.
Yeah, I don't believe that.
Let me say something going back to your original, the original, does it matter whether or not he wins or loses? Look, if he loses, I have no doubt, zero doubt that Trump's going to win in November. And I know the comments going to blow up. No, Biden's going to win. Biden's going to win. You keep thinking that. Just like in 2016. Trump's going to win in 2024. Now, the only difference is if Trump loses this trial, America will have elected their first convicted felon. What does that say about the rights candidacy? That says that we were so hard up, the right could not put up a candidate good enough to beat a convicted felon. That's a win in my book.
Listen,
win in my book, baby.
Even if Trump is found not guilty, he's still the first president that was impeached twice, had his house raided, got a mugshot, got 88 charges. Even if he beats these, whatever, I think this is 30 of them right here. I mean, at the end of the day, he's going to go down in history as a really odd fucking president because there's a lot out there on the man. So I don't know how he goes down in history, without an asterisk behind his name.
Yeah, He's a character, man. He's very entertaining.
Yeah.
The man entertains beyond everybody else.
I don't, in my opinion, unless he gets reelected and does some really phenomenal shit, I think he's going to go down in history as a bad guy. I just think that all of the stuff we're talking about, the impeachments, the charges, the mugshot, once MAGA, the MAGA that is alive now, dies off, and you just have the actual information of what happened during this era, it's going to look bad. Right now, you got people that'll stand up, it's a witch hunt, and they can tell you things. Once they're gone, all you have is what's written in the history books, and it's going to look bad. It'll be just like after the Civil War. A lot of people spoke positively of what the Confederates were doing, but now that we're where we are now, history doesn't portray them in a good light, because those people are dead.
I disagree, Tim. Here's where you and I disagree. You seem to favor the fact that Trump's going to be on a revenge tour. A lot of people do. A lot of people do.
And he's saying it.
Trump's going to take the high road. Now, let me ask you this. Let's say Trump took the high road and didn't go on a revenge tour and said, you know what? This isn't about me. This is about the American people, and I'm going to do what's right by the American people. And he did the exact opposite of what people are thinking he's going to do. And he did the shit that or at least I'm not going to say did. He tried to do the shit that he's claiming he's going to try to do. Help Americans, help the middle class, help the lower class, curb immigration, help the economy, quell this madness overseas in the Middle East and Ukraine. Would you then be willing to say, the man actually, he's a dick, but he did what he said he was going to do?
Well, here's the problem. It's twofold. First of all, when you're supporting women completely losing their right to choose, and some of them could be facing life-threatening consequences, $2 gas is not going to undo that. And that is already part of the stuff that's happening. He's holding rallies bragging that he is the father of why that's happening. So even if he gets in office and does all the great things you're talking about, that is a reality right now, is that a lot of women are dealing with some awful shit because of what he did, and he's bragging that he's the one that done it. So that's... Go ahead.
You didn't answer my question. You moved the goalposts. You didn't answer my question. If Trump did the opposite of what a lot of people are thinking he's going to do with the revenge tour, and did what many people would consider to be the right thing to do, would you change your perspective? Would you openly change your perspective?
I would be willing to get on here and even concede a point and apologize in regards to saying that, I thought he was going to be way worse than this. But fact is, when you say, wait a minute though, when you say if he gets in there and takes the high road, I don't think what they've done to abortion rights, you can't take the high road while still doing it. If I take away your Second Amendment rights, nothing else I do will qualify as taking the high road, because I did that. So I don't care if I got gas down to $1 a gallon. If I've taken away your Second Amendment rights, I'm a piece of shit to you. Women have lost their rights in a lot of states, and they're talking about executing some of them in North Carolina, South Carolina, or whatever it is. So there's nothing you can do at that point, because that is on your resume. So
okay, I'm going to piss some people off, but so it's okay to execute an unborn child, but it's not okay to execute the person that executed an unborn child?
They don't review it as a child. That's what the disagreement is. You believe a 2-month-old embryo is a child's. Everybody don't buy that.
It's a life.
Well,
I
then,
won't say child.
But then I'm gonna say
I misspoke.
Okay. You got to take that?
No.
Okay. Then I'm gonna say to you what I've said before in the program. If this woman that is 2 months pregnant, if that's a life in her, if she lays back and says, take it out of me then. I don't want any part of it. You want to save this child? You want this to be a life? Take it out now and do whatever you want with it. You can't do that because you need her. It's not a life. You and I are talking. We're not connected to our moms because we are a functioning human being. The fact that that cannot survive without her is not completely a life yet. Because if she told you to take it out, you can't do that.
By your logic, if you took a 1-month-old baby in a crib and mom said, I don't want nothing to do with it, I'm walking away, you just let a 1-month-old baby in a crib die and
No,
perish
because if you,
it's the same thing.
no, it's not, because I could take a 1-month-old baby. Remember, some women die when their kid is 1 month old. What if you're in a car accident and your 1 month old is strapped in the back seat, survives, and you don't? That baby can still be, that baby's still viable. But the 1 month old in the belly is not. It's a difference.
I don't see the difference. I think a life is a life, and that's why I strongly advocate a certificate of life at conception. I think a certificate of life is the right thing to do. And now, do I like the whole tracking thing? Because you kind of made me change my perspective on the tracking thing. Because now you're tracking somebody, and that's kind of, that goes into a whole new ballpark of chaos.
And let me say this in regards to that as well. Just like with the anti-abortion laws, if President Trump, which he came out and said, yeah, states could track pregnant women, the fact that he doesn't have a problem with that, that also makes it hard for him to take the high road. No matter what else he does, get gas prices down, sell me a box of cereal for 50 cents. You're okay with states tracking pregnant women so they can choose whether or not to prosecute them. That stuff kind of makes it hard to take the high road. I mean, that would be like Puff Daddy building a bunch of homeless shelters at this point. I don't think that's...
Someone in your chat just asked, ask him how he feels about the death penalty. I'll tell you how I feel about the death penalty. I am 100% against it, and here's why. Because there have been a lot of mistakes made with the death penalty, and if you can't get that 100% right, 100% correct, we should not take a life if there's not 100% absolute certainty of guilt.
Yeah,
and I cannot do that. So I'm against the death penalty.
And I am the same for that exact same reason, is that the impoverished, which particularly is laced with the minority community, our whole justice system is based on, if you got money, you can get a better outcome than people who don't. And in this country, most of the poor people are minorities. So that's why you look at who's been executed in this country. Minorities overwhelmingly represent the group of people that get executed the most, even though there's plenty of murders coming from all communities. But yeah, I mean, what are we, 13-15% of the population when it comes to black people? We're like 50% of those that have been executed. So I'm not a fan of it.
And if you include how many black children have been executed, yeah. I can't understand how blacks are so for abortion, man. And I hate saying blacks. You motherfuckers ain't black. You're brown. I'm brown. I'm a lighter shade of brown. I've yet to meet somebody who was black.
I would be more willing to agree with you if the system were willing to do something for these black children once they were born. But to force that mom to bring the baby to fruition and then tell her, I'm not going to do shit to help you out at all, that's why they have that opinion that you're talking about. It's because nobody's helping them. I mean, a lot of these women, and I'm pro-choice, by the way, but a lot of these women that are having abortions, they know the struggle of what they're going to entail once the baby is born. Maybe if our society wasn't so, who's going to pay for it all the damn time, whether it's health care or free lunch programs, or maybe more of these women would have these kids. But our society is really hard on the poor. We are a capitalist society. We believe nobody should be forced to help anybody else out. And as a result, if you're born poor, there's a good chance you're going to stay that way.
I don't think that's the rule of thumb, but I think statistically that's correct.
Yeah.
Statistically, I'd say that's correct.
And like I said, if we really wanted to encourage more women to choose better options other than abortion, if those programs were in place like I'm talking about, you probably would have a better outcome. I really do believe that. But the minute you start talking about helping out somebody who's downtrodden, most Americans, particularly those who have, well, who's going to pay for it? Because I don't want it coming out of my tax money. And that's where you get this stuff from. Gen X, you know what I got to do? Appreciate you coming on.
Brother, pleasure talking to you. Women in the chat, go make your men a sandwich. Forget about voting. Let the men take care of that. That's our job. Love you guys, man. We'll see you next time, Tim.
They fuck you in the drive-thru. They always do that. Gen X, oh my God. He can't go out smoothly. Jesus Christ. Oh my God. Gen X is a friend of the program. I always enjoyed talking to Gen Xer though, but damn, that ending was awful. Oh my God. Looking in the comments, the majority of pro-lifers are actually pro-birth and vote against any and all social programs to help the children after birth, says Josh. I think that's about 80 to 90% correct. I mean, there's a few here and there they may be in favor of, but I do agree that most of the pro-life folks, once that child is born, pull yourself up by your bootstraps. I figured a way. You need to too, Mom. That's how, that's kind of how it is. So I do agree with most of that. We'll meet you at the polls, says Alicia. We'll see. Misogyny to go. Yikes. Pro-life bigots. You guys are harsh. Republicans kill all programs that help people. That ain't true. Trump's tax cuts, which the wealthy are still enjoying, that helps some people out. But the lower class, and I've said this before, if you have money, if you have a decent income, you don't want the government forcing you to share with people or taxing you outrageously, you should vote Republican. Because, yeah, the Republican Party is more favorable to self-reliance, the haves not having to share. I mean, it is beneficial. So there are legitimate reasons to vote Republican. But if you are the downtrodden, or maybe you are working, you are reliant on self, but your pay is so damn low, you're only 1 or 2 paychecks away from being homeless, you probably should look into voting for somebody that would look out for you if your ass become homeless. And a lot of Americans are in that category. They're working, putting in and certainly when folks don't even want your damn wages raised. How many folks have shot down a minimum wage increase? A lot of them folks are a paycheck or 2 away from being homeless. You need to vote for somebody that would actually look out for you if your ass become homeless. So there are reasons to vote for both sides. Looking in the comments, do research about Margaret Sanger. I'm quite aware about Margaret Sanger. She is the one that created, what is the abortion clinics? Planned Parenthood. And claimed that the whole purpose was to, give blacks a way to terminate their lives. I guess, some type of mindset that doing this will get rid of a bunch of black people. Here's what I don't get. Why weren't people saying anything about it then? You come up now, and just like with the Biden crime bill in the 90s, everybody pointing out Biden is racist. Look what he did. Look how many black folks he was locking up. Where the hell were these people when it was actually fucking happening? Maybe back then, if they weren't being told racism ended 100 years ago, couple 100 years ago, we could have all made progress. Because people were bitching about the crime bill the moment it came out and saying it was racist. No, that racism is 100 years ago. All you got to do is just comply. Now all of a sudden the dude becomes president and folks, 30 years ago, yeah, he was racist. We was lying to y'all. He actually was really racist back then. It's too late. It's too late now. You could have done something and actually accomplished some shit when it was actually happening. Most of the folks who were against Biden pointing out the crime bill were in favor of the crime bill when it was actually being implemented. So I don't know if you can get out of that by pointing it out in 2024, some 30 years after it came out. And the same thing with Sanger. I don't recall a huge outcry about this harming African Americans when it was actually taking place. Now all of a sudden you get pro-life legislation and you want to point it out now. Like I said, it could have maybe shown some genuine concern by speaking out when it's actually happening. Telling me 30, 40, 50 years later, you're not concerned. You just hate the dudes that are going against you right now. You're using it for political capital. Looking in the comments, does that mean it's right? No, it doesn't mean it's right. But it also means the people that are telling you about it are not genuine either. The crime bill wasn't right. But if you waited 30 years to tell me, your ass ain't right either. You were okay with it until the man became president. So no, it ain't right. Get your point. And thank you for your comment. Black reps voted for the crime bill as well. True. Everybody supported the crime bill. It was bipartisan. Like a lot of this shit that Biden has supported over the years, which is why when folks suggested he wasn't qualified for office, I disagree with them. Biden has been the author of a lot of bipartisan stuff. President Trump, who folks favor to run this country, believe he was doing a better job. He is awful at accomplishing bipartisan legislation. When it comes to bringing folks together, bringing the liberals and the Republicans together, he's terrible at that. Biden actually made that happen. So even if you don't favor what Biden did, Biden was much better reaching across the aisle, working with Newt Gingrich during the Clinton administration. Biden was making that stuff happen. Biden was doing his job as a senator, says, I can't pronounce the name, but there's only one reason why Biden keeps winning elections, why he kept winning as a representative, winning as a senator, won vice president twice. There's only one reason why he's winning all the damn time. He can't be that bad. The whole country keeps voting him in. Delaware kept voting him in. Trump family even got in trouble for fraudulent charity organization. I mean, you can't make this shit up. Well, I don't want to go too deep into somebody's family. It is what it is. Nevertheless, folks, do appreciate you guys tuning in for this late live. 1,300 hours, 1 p.m. Central is when we're typically here, Monday through Friday. I had a doctor's appointment. That's why we were a bit late today. Monday through Friday, 1 p.m. Central. Follow the program on TikTok, a subscription on YouTube, if you will. We are MAGA friendly. We always have been. MAGA are my preferred guests. I know a lot of MAGA didn't come through today. Few did. Always a pleasure talking to you. You're always welcome back on the program, but not as much today. Nevertheless, we'll see what happens in regards to this Alvin Bragg trial. My guess is, my opinion is, and it's just my opinion, just like you have yours, Trump will not be found guilty. That's my opinion. I personally believe Michael Cohen did an awful job. Awful job. I mean, it just made Michael Cohen look like a snake. But it is Manhattan, as Trump would point out. So we'll see what happens. Anyhow, I do appreciate the 150,000 likes. It is your boy Tim. Catch you tomorrow. Same on YouTube. Thank you very much for tuning in. Appreciate the support. Catch you guys tomorrow.